fight. You bring your ass back here.
This place has officially reached the new decibel level. No mas, no mas, no mas. That right hand was an absolute mistake. Oh, there's a big fight.
All right, we are back. Nick here. Andy is over doing a comedy night next door. Hopefully you guys can hear me. We got Joe behind the scenes producing. If this is any indication who else might be here, he's actually ordering some food. That's the new champ Joe Giannetti. I wonder which one's which. This one looks a little more beat up, so that's probably his first belt he won. That's the 55. This is probably the 70. But yeah, we took 2 weeks off.
Oh, now we got 2 belts.
Yep, there we go. My sound's working. So yeah, I said somebody's here with 2 belts, so we know who that could be. And yeah, we got Nick, we got Joe, we got everybody. So
you got me until Andy comes back from his set, man. You guys,
yes,
we're in trouble.
Andy's next door. So in Andy's absence, I will give everybody the cheers. Cheers, everybody. Where's your beers?
Cheers with beers, bro.
Cheers with beers. Cheers with beers and Monster. Anyways, we took some time off the last 2 weeks for since the Cage Titans show, but we are back. We have a ton to talk about. We had 18 incredible fights 2 weeks ago. It didn't feel. It was a quick night. We had, 12 finishes out of 18? Something crazy like that?
I think it was 15 out of 18 fights was the stat. And,
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It was wild.
Yeah, who went to decision?
Kasky.
Crazy fight.
I thought I was going to say
Jacobson.
Jacobson Wolf.
Yep.
And then also the kickboxing fight that started off the night, Wakefield versus Ferguson, which was rewatching that one, underrated banger of the night to start off the fight. Oh my God. But yeah, there was no misses.
So three decisions out of 18. So yeah, it definitely was a quick night, but either way, it was a great night. The main event, JoJo, which we'll talk about, becomes the champ, taking out Trevor Goody.
Tall bastard.
Yeah, how was that?
That was weird. I think my footwork played a good part in it, but it was still weird. The first couple exchanges I threw, and I was like, oh, shit, I got to reach.
So now that the fight's over, you could probably share some insight in going into that fight. What was your game plan going into that?
Break his ribs. I didn't get to that point yet. I was kind of headhunting to try and set the tone and set the precedent. And then after the second round, Tyler and Justin were like, start fainting the body, start working the body. And I was getting ready to faint to the body and, start changing levels. And, the fight was over. But what I did worked. But we had a whole game plan to get through the 5 rounds, because I think that was a big thing a lot of people slept on. I've had a couple 5-round fights. They didn't go 5 rounds, but I trained for it, whereas that was Trevor's first 5-rounder.
Yeah. Shout out to Joey Collerin on Twitch, the clown with the jerseys here.
Let's go.
What's up, Rob Pico? Joey Collerin. I think I might have shared the story with you guys or some people behind the scenes. Probably one of my favorite nights, my favorite moments was I look over in the crowd during Joe's fight, and this guy has his shirt off in the air. It's a Joe Giannetti shirt, and he's like holding it like at a soccer match, like he's pumping his fist with the shirt in his hands, and he's just like going crazy, pumping it up, and I'm like, who the hell is this knucklehead holding his shirt up and pumping it like this? And then he pulls his shirt down, and I see who it is, and I'm like, oh man, no, it's not you. And
It's Joey.
I'm not gonna. We'll just call it as Joey.
Yeah.
For those who don't know him, we won't embarrass him too much.
Oh.
But he's like, dude, I was loving that.
That was awesome.
He's like, I took my Cage Titan shirt off, so you can't yell at me. He's like, I was pumped and I was excited.
I think that was the loudest the hall has ever been for me. It was
You actually
wild.
sold some tickets for once in your life,
right?
You know?
Well, also, yeah, the energy carried it all the way through the end. I mean, like, you even see it at UFC events, too. By the end, it's hard to keep some people in the building.
It's hard keeping them in
the energy level stayed high throughout the whole building, and they were invested in every fight building up to that.
Yeah, I think 15 finishes does that.
Yeah, man, the crowd was crazy. Just quickly catching up, James Thomas, amazing fight with him, first time with Cage Titans. Also Cam Arnold in the messages, He's shot off Cam Arnold. He's looking to relocate to Mass. So if anybody knows any apartments or anything that's looking, available, he reached out to me. Let's put it out to the Cage Size community. If you have any apartments or anything available in the area, let's definitely help Cam and get him relocated down here.
You gotta have a good school. You gotta have a good school district, though, man. He's a father. Remember that.
So he's actually in the DMs. He has a job in Leominster. So he's like, with anything within an hour, he's willing to take. So he's got a job if he wants it in Leominster. And then shout out to Nick Ryder, who said that the Hall is such a cool venue.
There was a lot of people that made their first trip to the Hall for that last card, and they loved it.
Yeah, man. I remember when I was my first fight at the Hall, when I was fighting, and my coach was like, listen, man, it's something that you'll never feel. Like it's like I already fought a couple times before that, and he's like, "This fighting at Memorial Hall is different." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. It's a fight. Yeah. He's like, "No, man. Like your fans can like get blood on them, and like they're part of the show." And then I fought there, and I was like, "Holy shit!" He wasn't kidding.
I forget who it was. It was one of the amateurs said it leading up to the fights. Like it just gives you that gladiator feeling because everybody's just on top of you. Like the person in the front row and the person in the balcony are like the same distance from you.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I can speak on a lot of so we had a lot of new attention from media on this one. We had a lot of new media presence that were there, and the first time going in, these guys have been to shows like all regional shows, local shows.
Yeah.
They have a preset expectation of what to do. They came in and they had their wigs blown off. It's like it felt like UFC London here. Actually, fuck UFC London. This is better. I can't believe how engaged and smart these fans are. I can't believe like how great the fights are. And the Hall does play into a big character of what the show is. The walkout feels like the biggest thing. Like I'm sure you were telling your boy Jay on the way out. It's like enjoy it so much because it's going to go by quick. Enjoy every second of it. And I'm just glad that people are starting to get it.
Like 100%.
It's different. We're not like any other show you're going to find around combat sports. It hits different.
Yeah, I remember. So I had two fights there. My last amateur fight, and my pro debut was there, and then MMA was like non-existent down at the Hall. And I remember like my last two shows, I fought for two different promotions. It would just happen to be one was my last amateur fight that did their last show at the Hall. And then my pro debut was that new promotion I fought for, first and only show at that Hall. And it was just like no one can fill it. And I was like, you know what? Maybe people just don't want to drive all the way down this distance to go to Plymouth near the Cape. If you're not from the Cape, Plymouth is the Cape. Yeah. So it was too much, and just maybe fans didn't want to go to it. And I knew there was something special there, but we just kind of did shows elsewhere. And then when the opportunity came, it happened to be September 10th, 2011 was our first show, which was the 10-year anniversary of September 11th. And we thought it was important to tie into the community. We called the show United. We were there. It sold out, and we've been there ever since. So that's our history.
Junior in high school.
Yeah, Joe. That's kind of the history of how we got to the Hall, and we've been there ever since. Like people can, like you said. The other funny part is Johnny's over here. Maybe we'll bring him in a little bit.
Actually, John, if you could tag in for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, Johnny's on the show. So John, it's Coop's manager Johnny over here. Get on over here. Yeah. But I think you fought at the Hall before, but when I fought there back in the day, they actually didn't even have you walk in off the stage. They had you walk in from like the side door. Oh, so when the stairs come down, and they would just have you walk out at floor level. Later, Nick. You'd walk out at floor level. They wouldn't have you go up those little stairs to go up on the stage and come down off the stairs. They'd just have you walk out there, or you would come out on the other side. And that's where the locker rooms were too. Where you guys get checked out by the doctors in the media room, that was one locker room. And then the other side where like my office is the other locker room back when I fought there. And, but yeah, they'd have you walk out. The first thing I did, I was like, you need to use the stage, man. You walk out and you're just on top of the world. You're right. It's like you're a gladiator. So you fought there many times. Oh yeah.
Once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice.
The lights do it too. I mean, there's something new. I mean, at least the last 4 or 5 shows, there's something new every time. I actually just did a podcast with MMA Island, and they were asking me what it was like being the double champ of Cage Titans. And I told them, like, if you look at the social media, I think every time I fought in the last year, it's like, oh, Joe grew up with Cage Titans. But it's like you can see it from my first amateur fight video to now. Like, it looks like a whole different promotion. But I told them, I think in the next few years, Cage Titans is, like, really going to blow up. I have random people message me, just not even about my fights, just about Cage Titans. I'm like, you know what we're doing over here? Like what Cage Titans is? It's just kind of cool.
Yeah. It's always weird for me, but like, you fought at Cage Titans 1, and Johnny and I go back when I was fighting pre-Cage Titans. Like it's amazing. I appreciate you saying how far Cage Titans come, but like even just the sport, like it was a lot different, 15 years ago than it is today. And, you're right. Like, I think what separates us, some people ask me all the time, like, what makes you guys a little different? It's like, well, every time we come out and do a show, I want to do something different. You're always behind the scenes, and Martina, and you've been, even when you're not fighting, you come and set the cage. JoJo comes and puts the cage together when he's not fighting. And sometimes he comes in,
Pre-show.
down the pre-show. So like, it's just like, I don't care how perfect the show was. It's never perfect. Like, no matter how successful we were the last show, let's add something this show and work a little harder. And, I think everybody that's part of the Cage Titans family is like, we truly are family, and we want what's best for the sport. And for none of us, this is a job. This is like, we're passionate. None of us sleep on fight week. Like, we're there from 8 a.m. until 3 a.m, because we're just so passionate about it. And I think that's, there was a guy that was there from MMA Island. He's like, Mike, what makes it different? And, because he's like, we've been to a bunch of shows. Like, your show just seems different. It's like, we're just passionate people. We care about this sport. And we're people everybody that's part of Cage Titans is involved in the sport in one way or the other. And, I gave this to somebody before, like, let's just say a photographer, for instance, and Martina walked out of the room, but like, whatever. But like, photography, like, if I had a fighter who was a photographer and maybe he just bought his first camera, and I had some like high level photographer over here, I'd be like, you know what? I want to give it to somebody that keep them in the sport without having to fight. And I know maybe the quality would have to come along the way, but that's what I want to do. I want to get not only fighters involved, but I want them to be involved in this outside of fighting. Why we have them commentate. Like, I can call up a UFC vet and ask them to commentate and give them a couple bucks to come down and get in our cage and commentate. But no, I want you. I want guys who grew up with us and a part of our family, and like guys like Andy and everybody. Like, I want us all to be a community, all of us to be a part of this, because then when we put that show on, we all feel that sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, we did this.
Yeah,
like,
when it's over, it's like the greatest thing ever. Like, looking back on, like, brunch the next day at Main Street, like, looking back on the card is like the most fun because the stress is over, minus like taking it all apart. I think like the only negative thing about fighting for Cage Titans is I don't get to be just a fan and sit in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy not fighting at Cage Titans. Like, sitting at Cage Titans with everybody is just as fun as fighting.
Yeah, and it's been amazing over the years. Like, as we grow, it's like, you got these guys who are just fans, and like, even like Rob Pico. Rob Pico had a comment earlier. Can I get 2 tickets? Here it is. Hey, can I have 2 tickets to hand out at the brewery? They refer to me as the mayor because he buys beers. So he kind of hosts a pre-party at Second Wind Brewery. And he goes in there and everybody knows him by name. And, he's in there pumping up the fights. He was actually he was the one that initiated the conversation with Second Winds to get the Cage Titans beer brewed. It was years ago, and then it kind of came back to fruition after. But like someone like him, he was there to watch his daughter's husband fight. And then he stopped fighting. Now he's just a fan for life. Even guys like Mikey DeSilva, who's another super fan. Like, there's just been so many people that have, now they're just part of the family.
We got fans from Italy coming over.
We had fans from Italy coming down to see
I told them I was
you.
going to send them a couple shirts. I got in touch with them. Sending them some shirts.
Keegan's giving a little shit to the super fan. I always say setting his fun aside from your super fan. That was a little crazy. I think the super fan and Keegan were going to get into it a little bit, but
I told Keegan it's none of my business. Talk to the super fan.
But it's even funny with Mikey. Like, Mikey and I actually had a talk after this show, and in talking about evolving and growing, and he was just like, oh man, like, that was awkward. Like, I just like to have fun, and like, I like to give my opinions, and like, it was weird. Like,
it's just loud when it's his opinion.
But and he was like, he had a confrontation with a team, and it was just like, he's like, oh, I said, listen, Mikey, you got to be you and do you. But I said, you got to also realize as we evolve, and your role within Cage Titans was just like a guy who came and bought tickets from fighters to now you come on the podcast, you help set up the cage. Like, you're a little bit more connected to the promotion. So like, as much as it's like Mikey's on his own, when you give those loud, boisterous opinions, they might not take it that.
It seems like Cage Titans are
Yeah.
saying sometimes.
So-
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and he's like, yeah, maybe, man, like I love being a part of doing what I do now, and like, yeah, maybe you're right. I'll take like a little bit more backseat to like being so boisterous. But I was like, listen, you fell in love with Cage Titans because you're a fan, so like, don't lose that, but realize like, you know, he was at the press conference. He's everywhere.
And I think that was what really did it, was the press conference. It kind of seemed like De Silva was just harping on him.
Yeah. Keegan said, so the background is, I guess I'll just, you know, say it, is basically when Mikey showed up to the press conference, he grabbed Tyler Smite's NEF belt and he grabbed it. He's like, what the hell is this doing on the Cage Titans table? And like, he jokingly went to like go throw it in the trash. Now,
If you don't know De Silva,
if you don't know, to me or to him, he's like, dude, this is Cage Titans. Like, don't bring another belt. And like, if you're not Cage Titans, he thinks it's trash.
Yeah.
He'll go up to the guy. He would go up to Dana White and be like, you're not Cage Titans, you're trash. And that's just Mikey. So he did it, and it really wasn't funny because like Tyler Smythe and those guys don't really know him. They're from Maine. And as it is, Keegan always has a chip on his shoulder, like everybody's against him.
Tyler's also
Yeah.
very just like when it's, at least
He's
from what I've seen,
serious.
it's fight week. It's like he's in the zone. Like it's
Considering his name's Butter Knife,
Yeah.
he's pretty serious.
So it was a very awkward start to the the presser. Now I grabbed Mikey and I was like, listen, man, I told him to put that belt in. And Tyler and Keegan can back me up on this. After Tyler fought for and won our title, I said to him, I go, where was your belt? Why didn't you walk down? You were the NEF champ when you challenged for our 25 title and won against Joe Poria. He's like, oh man, I don't want to be disrespectful. I said, no, man, it'd be disrespectful to tell you can't walk out with your belt. You earn that. You put the work in. I don't care what promotion it is.
True.
And unlike other promotions at Cage Titans, whatever you accomplished outside of our cage, we're going to acknowledge. We're not going to give you a little like, I'll throw a dig. Fine, fuck it, I'll throw a dig. Other promotions are like, he fought down in Massachusetts for a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I'll be like, yo, this guy's the fucking NEF champ. He beat everybody up in Maine. Now he's coming down to Mass, and he's challenging for our title. I'll say that.
But that's
And I
because
told him,
you're a
I said,
fighter.
wear your belt because I think you earned it. So when he was at the presser, he actually had both belts in the bag. And he grabbed the Cage Titans one. I said, yo, put up your other one. And then, of course, Mikey comes in, and he thinks he's being like a funny guy, but like, yo, no, fuck NEF.
Yeah.
It was odd, and it was super awkward.
I was wondering why it was tense
That was
when I showed
why
up.
it was super tense.
I showed up and nobody like cared, like seemed like happy. I was like, we all cutting a lot of weight in here? Or?
Just to break the ice, shout out to Benny Baseball. Joe's head is massive. Yes.
Yeah,
is
it takes up like a lot of camera space.
But yeah, so that was the awkwardness. And this dates back to, I want to say 2012. Rico DeShulo at the time was the Cage Titans amateur bantamweight champion. And Ken Moy was the AFO champion. And AFO, they refused to let him come over to Cage Titans to fight our champ to like kind of like unify that, not unify, but like champ versus champ.
Yeah.
And he refused to let it, and they wouldn't acknowledge us and all that stuff. Haha, joke's on you. They're not even around anymore. But, I fought for them as well. But anyways, they wouldn't let it happen. And then Rico went to their show, and they were like, you're not. So finally I go, you know what, Rico? I have no ego. I don't give a shit. Go over there and fight over there. Fight Ken. You know, let's see who the best guy in Massachusetts, because at the time they were 1 and 2. They're not going to let him come here. Go there and fight him. And he went there and fought him, and they wouldn't let him walk out with his belt or anything. And then he ended up beating Ken Moy.
Oh, wow.
And it was you know, they robbed him of that opportunity to have both belts on, and I thought that was kind of shitty.
But like I said, that's because you're a fighter and you know you busted your ass for that. Like for a promotion to take that away, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, that's the story of Mikey De Silva. But Keegan, thanks for bringing it up. Keegan will never let me forget anything. Hey, and I got to give a shout out to Keegan. He got a win over this weekend.
Did you see it?
Up in Vermont. And kudos to you, Keegan. Your first win outside of Cage Titans. Congratulations.
Spinning back elbow.
Now I can't say you have your whole career to thank me for. I
Fucked
love
up.
you. And also, just so you guys know, whoever doesn't know Keegan fought on Cage Titans 1. Before podcasting was cool, Keegan and I actually started the MMA Horn, and we did a podcast probably in 2009 We go back. We love to bust each other's balls. But the truth is, his only wins in his cage fighting career were with Cage Titans. So he always yells at me and says, I'm so biased and I hate the main guys and I hate the guys from out of state. And I'm like, Keegan, you got all your wins with us.
Yeah.
So what does that say? But love you, Keegan.
He looked way better.
Oh, he said that's not accurate.
his body looks so much better now than
Than
it
he did,
has
yeah.
throughout
Thank
his
Christ,
career.
because when I fought him,
Bro, he looks
Yeah.
like a pro fighter now.
He does look like a pro fighter.
I
now.
fucking love it.
Oh, now he's saying he has a fight, GFL, Triumph. Those weren't pro fights. We don't count those for you. Chael Sonnen said it best. I think he goes, don't let facts get in the way of a good story. So
Yeah.
there you go, Keegan. Don't let facts get in the way of the good story. But yeah, he did have a beautiful spinning back elbow.
hmm
Yeah. So,
I saw the video on Facebook. It was nice.
but anywho, put Tyler on the screen. Where's Tyler?
Tyler's not even here.
Somebody's asking for this guy. Benny Baseball said he says,
Benny and Devlin are brothers. Don't listen to them.
yeah. Oh, there's two of them. Nick Ryder, you're not wrong. D'Lo was scared. Joe versus Luby for the belt. The Ripper better be grinding meat October 29th. And yes, I want to finish talking about Cage Titans 55, but yes, the meat grinder will be back on October 29th.
What about
Looks like we have
the
her locked
Ripper?
in. The Ripper, is she a
That's who she was.
Yeah.
Also, talking
okay. I got Johnny speaking.
Translator.
Speaking meat grinder, KK.
about.
Yes, Zach the Ripper is going to be back. Zach the Ripper will be headlining Cage Titans 55. Zach DiSabatino. Should I tell him who?
Nice.
Nah, I'm not going to tell you guys.
Do it.
Maybe later. Tune in.
I tried.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it later. But anyways, yeah, man. What was one of your highlights? Well, let's go to Johnny. What was one of your highlights from the night from Cage last show? Your cage side
That's
the
a
whole
good
entire
question.
time.
Yeah.
We had so many fights, so we had to cut your beautiful interviews.
Yep.
Johnny is the new Rogan.
Yep.
But we couldn't do the interviews because we had so many
Very
fights.
proud.
What would you say were some of your highlights of the card?
Man, I mean, the whole card, top to bottom, was awesome. I'm trying to think back on JoJo's performance probably was like the highlight. You know, a beautiful cherry on top. Just this dominant performance over Trevor. That was beautiful.
Did you think it was going to go that way?
I thought it could. I thought like JoJo had it in him to make that happen. But the way that he flawlessly executed his game plan, I mean, I did not even think that could be done so perfectly. Just anything that Trevor could bring to the table was just completely extinguished right out of the gate. It was a beautiful thing. It was wonderful to watch, dude. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So good.
Nice. Ryan Condon. Joe moves up and gets a third title.
Who's the 185 champ?
Lally.
Shit. He hits kind of hard.
Lally, yeah. When
He
did he win that?
So he beat Shedrick Goodrich, I think.
Okay.
For that title.
Was that a while ago?
It was a while. He never defended it.
Did he go to 70 after that?
Yeah, he went down to 70.
because he fought Goff.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Was that for a belt too? Was that for the belt? No.
That was before golf.
Oh, yeah.
Fought for the belt.
So Lally won the belt. Where did he win that?
Pulled that up quick.
I know, right? It
What
was
the hell?
like he had it bookmarked or something.
God
Lally.
damn.
It's
Avery
just-
McFadden. He beat Avery McFadden for the belt.
Oh yes, I remember that.
That was when he kind of dropped him and the guy's like shoulder
Yeah.
popped out. And then coincidentally,
his shoulder.
in his
popped out.
defense, he popped his shoulder out.
I remember that.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, he's a big guy, but
Keegan fought Lally, and he does hit really hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Keegan, I hit
Keegan,
kind of hard, right?
Keegan asked for that fight, though. Yeah, Keegan asked for the Lally fight.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, he does.
Keegan likes to fight.
But anyway, so JoJo's performance. What
That's
about
gotta be-
like one of the ones from like the earlier fights, non-pro fights? Any amateurs stand out to you?
let's think back. I mean, dude, the amateurs are like pro levels at this point. It feels like when I see the amateurs
Mhm.
fight now, it's like their composure and the level of talent.
Yes, I don't.
Yeah, let's go back. Oh, have we gone
Which way
through
you
the
going
fights
now?
at all?
Oh, you're going this side.
Have we gone through them at all?
No, we can go through.
What's
Dude,
the-
I didn't
through.
want you to sit next to me because you wore the same damn shirt.
Oh, then we're gonna contrast it a little bit.
Yeah, JoJo, you come towards me.
Two
Alright, fine.
blue, two black.
Yeah, like come on.
Just don't step on my belt.
Blue, black,
You
blue,
didn't
black.
change?
Don't step on my
Don't
belt.
step on this thing. I'll pick it up.
There you go.
Andy.
I was trying not to take a ball. It's kind of heavy.
What have I missed?
We just started, man.
Oh,
Yeah, we
good.
really-
Shit.
JoJo has pillow hands from Keegan. Thanks, Joey. We really don't want to
Miss
relive
all
the
of them.
arm break.
Oh,
But
Jesus
yeah, that
Christ.
was a nuts.
I wasn't gonna.
That was
go
nuts. Andy, Cam Marles giving Andy the new kid from BTT, Jaden Curley, Rob Pico. That's a great one.
Does JoJo still hate Andy?
Is
I hated
JoJo
it.
still? That's
think
from
that ever happened.
that's from Joey. I mean, that's from Zach.
Oh, it's
Cyril.
from Zach.
He's- and Jennifer Collerin.
I was so confused.
The other half of Joey and Jenny. She's laughing at him.
What's happening,
But,
Martina?
no, we just started. We were just kind of talking quickly about I don't know, a bunch of nothing.
Johnny's favorite fights.
Everything.
Johnny's
History.
favorite
Yeah, we were
moment
gonna
from the
begin
show.
recapping. I think.
Yeah. We just started.
Oh,
How was your comedy thing?
It's an open mic. It
Yeah.
happens sometimes.
How
You
was
got to
your-
relish the silences when they occur. You
Oh,
know? some,
no.
some days,
Tough crowd.
some days you're Hamza Chimaev, some days you're Kevin Holland. That's just what it is. And then
So
some
what
days
was
you're Tony
your,
Ferguson, some days you're Nate Diaz.
What was your big hitter joke?
October 27th, maybe you can find that out at Main Street Sports Bar and Grill.
Oh,
Nice.
Shameless
So are you
plug.
practicing right
plug.
now?
Yeah. I'm just working some new stuff out. I feel like the
Sweet.
crowd here and the crowd there has heard some of the old stuff. So pull it closer. Is the
Put it
mic right up? All right.
Right in the
There
collar.
we go. I don't speak loud enough. Is this better? Testing. Okay.
Not too close.
Does anyone want to drink?
Can I get a Bud Light, please?
Course light, please.
Look at that. So
Yes,
yeah,
please.
so
Thank you,
want
Martina.
I should hold on.
Let's go. There was a huge card, so I think maybe going
I'll be right
through
back.
all of it.
We'll
might be a
blitz it.
lot. We can blitz it. Yeah,
We can
blitz.
blitz through a few of them. There was a bunch of quick ones.
Where you going? You can sit back.
Being
yeah.
a good human.
He's just gonna go walk for a second. Do you want me to just grab some Maria?
Yeah. You what? Yeah. You just yeah.
Thank you.
Did you bring my my bag over? Or?
Yep. I brought
Oh,
you
there
They're
it
back.
is.
talking to me. I was like,
All right, here we go. First fight of the night. We kind of quickly talked about it. Sean Wakefield versus Brian Ferguson. What a way to start the fight off.
Oh,
Great kickboxing match. Both guys.
and Wakefield, 18 years old, coming out looking as seasoned as he did. And Ferguson, just what a story of him with the weight loss journey that I heard about afterwards and how much of a dog he was, getting tagged early, weathering the storm, and they put on a high caliber fight through 6 minutes that just set the pace for the entire show. So, yeah, it was just a barn burner as the Muay Thai fights have been historically since we started them.
That's what we were talking about, the amateurs. I said it to somebody recently. The amateur level from, I hate to say from when I fought, but when I was an amateur compared to now, I feel like there's more guys that are fighting amateur at Cage Titans that have intent to have a long pro career. I feel like when I fought, it was a lot of guys that were just like either jiu-jitsu competitors or like bucket list MMA
Like one and
fighters.
done guys.
Yeah, just wanted to do it, say they do it, or maybe they just wanted an amateur title. Thank you. And now a lot of these guys are like already thinking about like, I want to make the UFC in their amateur debut.
Yeah.
And they pursue that, but I think that's why there's so many high-level amateur fights.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You had a bunch of cab drivers when you were.
I mean, I didn't look so great in my amateur career, so I can't talk smack about anybody. I got hit a lot.
Congrats, Joe. You the man's from John Adams. Johnny Adams.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully see you back soon. I know you had some injuries you're recovering from, but hopefully we see you. Shout out.
Sean Manchild. Wakefield coming out.
Is that his
When-
nickname?
Manchild, yeah.
Oh my God.
And he's actually back for October 29th. He put his name in for 180 kickboxing. So anybody out there that's looking for a kickboxing match, we got an opponent for you, 180. Next up, we went to, this is a great fight. Steve Piles versus Shane Wellman.
Was that
Yep.
Ben Askren's kid?
That
Yeah.
That knockout was nasty.
It was filthy.
Pull any of this up. I think I can.
And Piles came out swinging too. He was cracking right from the get-go, immediately tagging Shane. Shane had to weather a storm and really get engaged in a firefight from the waking seconds of the fight. And he kept his composure, was able to land some devastating blows and double, triple up on a right hand that face planted Piles at the beginning of the first round. Really quick fight, but a barn burner nonetheless for as long as it lasted.
Mitch Richardson, Andy, you were in a fanny pack, LOL.
Yeah, makes it much easier to carry drugs around.
Legal ones.
Yeah.
Andy, yeah.
Yes, no, totally legal. Absolutely. I'm not even joking about that. Yes, it's just weed.
All right, so I'm going to bring up Manchild's no joke. This is before we get to Manchild. This was Shane Wellman. taking on
It's a scary bastard.
Steve Piles, Dexter. And let me see what do I got next. Oh, we think we got the knockout. Here we go. It was a quick fight.
Look at that left hook that he lands, and look at Piles landing a combo there, and
Oh.
Wellman just keeping in the phone booth, standing his ground, planting, and throwing bombs.
Jeez, Nick, you got the whole damn fight. Oh, he wrote free fight.
Oh, tripled it up. Beautiful performance.
Great fight.
That was
Definitely
nice.
a good fight. Good debut for him. He's all jacked up, huh? All in the
Yeah, he's
Cage
been
Titans-
dying to make that debut.
All in the Cage Titans gob. I love it.
It's like Ben Askren and Wolverine had a kid.
Let's see what I can
It's been a couple of weeks. We had to take some time off.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Not
no
too
longer
late.
do we have energy after a fight weekend to just come back
Trying to get the
and
best. This might be.
wrap it up on
I
Monday.
know, I'm still doing photos.
All right, here we go.
So many fights.
Next up, we have the Robillard fight versus Gage Luby.
Smarticus, Mike Robillard, putting on a clinic against 12 gauge shotgun gauge Luby. You know, Luby making his second performance after coming off a couple of wins in his amateur career, draws Mike Robillard, who was able to score a big takedown off a caught kick and relentless ground and pound throughout the rest of the fight until it was stopped in the first round. Dagestani handcuff, isolating the arms, gift wrapping him
You know,
any
I
which
like
way he wanted, and just putting on a ground and pound clinic until the stoppage was forced.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see. What was our next fight? The next fight we had Jake
Yeah,
Kasky and
Kasky
Mike
and
Antidormi.
Antidormi, another scrap.
Wow, that was a great fight too. I'm actually going to try to pull up. Martina has some highlight photos. I'm going to try to make those. You can talk about that.
A lot of highlight photos.
Dude, I gotta say, Antidormi's a 35er,
Yeah,
and he was actually going to go to 130 and fight Joe Poirier
Oh shit.
originally, and then Poirier ended up he ended up going to take a title fight in New York,
Which
So-
he won. That's when
which he
just
won this weekend.
Congrats.
But when I had nobody for Antidormi at 35, I floated the idea of Kasky, and then I didn't say anything when they were like, "Oh, we'd really rather keep him at 35." And the next thing you know, I get hit up by Dubuque, and he's like, "Yo, what's up with that fight for Antidormi?" I was like, "Oh, well, I didn't know you wanted to go to 45." He's like, "Yeah, fuck it. If that's it, we'll take it." So he went up to 45 to take that fight in Kasky, which was a super tough fight, and he was able to come up victorious.
And hey, good for him.
yeah, and it was back and forth. I think Kasky might have come away with the first round, and then Antidormi striking was looking on point, mixing everything up.
That's why Johnny.
The wrestling, the
Leg kicks.
leg kicks were ferocious. He was Kasky's lead leg was definitely starting to get compromised towards the end of the fight, and Antidormi stayed diligent with them throughout, just putting on a pace and weathering some storms without too. Because Kasky's a dog; he was always in the fight. It was never like anybody was shut out, but it was just a competitive fight between two guys you'd find hard to believe are only 3 fights into their amateur career, respectively.
Yeah, that perfect example of, like I said earlier, the
Yes.
amateurs like at a pro level, basically, both guys. I can't wait to see what Antidormi does, moving most likely down in weight to 135.
Yeah, so I actually reached out. I offered a title fight. That was some of my thought. It was a title fight, but he's going to take off the rest of the year because he had 3 fights in a short period of time.
That's a
8
tough
months.
fight. At
So he's gonna
45, so.
he's gonna probably go to 35.
Oh.
I offered him out to Arthur, and Arthur's taking off this show, so maybe we'll put that fight together for the beginning of the year, which would be a fun one.
That's
we
a
giving out
super
candy at the next show for Halloween? So
Yeah.
really-
Costume contest.
I'm
So
with
here's
it.
a couple photos.
No, you're not.
Huh?
No, you're not.
I'm with it. What do I
Oh,
get?
I thought you
It
said you
looked
were
like
winning.
Antidormi
Oh, no, I'll
was
win
like,
it.
oh.
really
I'll win
wanted
it.
to get it to the ground,
You thought, yeah,
but couldn't because Cassie's got good wrestling.
yeah. Well, Cassidy's
Exactly,
a stud
yes.
wrestler. He's like a wrestling.
So it
coach,
was a
too.
very interesting fight.
But it was opening up his strikes,
Yeah,
just
for
mixing
sure.
in those wrestling attempts. So that's
No,
what I
yeah.
mean. It was the high fight IQ between both of them, and just Kasky's ability to stuff those shots and still keep it an engaging striking battle. And Antidormi was not letting loose off of the gas pedal, even though he wasn't getting the wrestling game plan implemented.
Exactly.
He would follow it up with kicks, pieces, combos together nice, and came away with a
That's
really hard-earned decision victory.
A lot of times you'll see guys maybe get discouraged in a fight like that and then back off on their offense. And like you said, he just kind of kept a steady pace, and the judges appreciated that, obviously.
Shout out to, in this picture, former Cage Titans Was he the lightweight champ? Right?
Was
Was the lightweight champ Dan
Tom
Dubuque?
say.
I knew I was going to get a
That's
little
all I'm
look from
gonna say.
JoJo, but shout out to Dan Dubuque. He
Me
fought
too.
this
I mean,
weekend.
I knocked him down.
Oh, you fought him too? I forgot. Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah, he got robbed more than
Yeah. Oh,
some
yeah.
lady.
Sorry, I'm in the wrong.
Close
But
fight.
listen, fair is fair. Dan went out and won the CES featherweight title this weekend over a super tough fight in Nature Reed.
Yeah,
You
another
know, a lot
tough
of people thought that
Big
Dan
kid.
was kind of going to be a footnote on Nature Reeves' ascend, and you know, Dan proved he's a tough out.
I
for
feel like
everybody.
that's always why Dan wins. Like everybody just looks at him like, oh, that guy sucks. It's like, well, he wins for a reason. Like as somebody who wanted to fight him, it's like I feel like people underestimate him way too much.
Yeah, well, no matter like, it's
Like
he's
MMA.
he's a rare breed.
Yeah.
He is of a different generation.
I mean, he's down. He's
for
another one
sure.
down to fight
But
anybody. So it's
Garib
like,
is a savage in his own right. So that was a dog fight nonetheless.
I was talking to Dan earlier, and I bit my tongue because he just won. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, shit, man, I'd love to get him back. And the funny thing is, before they announced the Jareed fight, he was talking about doing MMA glove Muay Thai for us
fuck that.
in the fall. And then next thing you know, I was like, dude, you just asked about the MMA Muay Thai, and then bam, here you are taking a title fight. It's like, you know me, I'm fucking down for anything.
MMA glove Muay Thai is crazy.
So shout
be
out
fun.
to Dan, and also shout out to
Bare knuckle.
Andy Dormy. I hope he enjoys the holiday,
Thank
and
you.
we get him back in for a title fight when he's ready to return at the end of the year. Next up, great fight, Wolfgang and Andrew Jacobs. I mean, do I have to say anything besides Wolfgang?
Wolfgang Fiasconaro.
All right, I'm going Wolfgang.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
name
yeah.
like Wolfgang. You're Cher, you're Madonna, you're just Wolfgang.
Wait, that's not a nickname like his name.
Oh,
No,
that's his real name.
Wolfgang Fiasconaro. Yeah,
His real name's Wolfgang. Like that's it, Wolfgang.
like Wolfgang on a
And when I got his
That's insane.
paperwork, I was like thinking I'd be like, oh yeah, like Jerry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. it's really
Like he
Wolfgang.
wrote,
Yeah, that's
he
a-
wrote
that's a
his
name.
nickname down.
Yeah.
First name. Like what a goofball.
No, that's
Your
a name.
name is
It's
not
actually his name.
Wolfgang.
Yeah,
And
but
then
like when he's
no,
on
it is.
Facebook, like you think like, oh, maybe it's just his Facebook name. But
Nope,
nope,
that's
nope,
crazy.
Wolfgang is Wolfgang. Man.
Yeah.
This kid's-
Good for him.
Did he have a nickname?
No nicknames.
You don't
here.
need one.
Wolfgang Gang.
Wolfgang
Gang,
Fiasconaro.
gang. Wolfgang,
Gang, gang.
gang.
I like that.
Yeah,
Wolfgang,
actually,
gang.
it might have to be his new nickname.
And what a dogfight it was. Wolfgang had the extensive wrestling background, and Andrew Jacobs, obviously, a black belt in judo. So you saw both of those skills on display. A lot of counter wrestling being implemented in a striking battle where these guys were just throwing heavy leather at each other, neither guy refusing to quit. And then Andrew Jacobs would find holes to throw. He had a couple of real nice inside trips that there's just high amplitude takedowns there. And then Wolfgang would be able to scramble back up. A complete mixed martial arts fight between the big guys
It looks
and
from the
a
pictures,
3-round
It looks like
dogfight.
it was all on the feet.
It was.
Is this
Pretty
like an
close.
example of like
But there was
a
There was
judo
a- there was
guy versus a
takedown.
wrestler, and they're just
They
standing
were
up?
negating each other's grappling a lot, but there was some take.
Bada bing. All right, sorry guys.
Yeah,
oh
we're in
man, I'm an idiot.
That's not true.
I overheated my PC.
Look at that.
Your fault.
All right.
It's not your fault, but
I
it's
mean,
not
it
your
should
fault.
have given you a warning.
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Yeah,
Dad,
that's
I'm
weird.
getting hot.
Yeah.
It's getting a little warm in here.
Show go porn. I don't know what the hell. I wasn't showing go porn. Jesus Christ. But everybody can hear us.
You should specify when you
Alright,
say
cool.
you got hot.
Yeah.
You just say that to people
Yeah.
and they'll be like, wait a second.
All right, so let's get back to the pictures. And let's see where we at. There we go. We got the pictures going. And we already went through Wolfgang, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I look at that
Dog
handsome
fight.
corner. Brennan Ward, Pete Rogers.
Oh, is that who's in his
yeah,
corner?
yeah. There we go. Next up, the big boys.
Throwing some heat.
Take it away, Andy.
Donovan the Ogre Lozada versus Raul Spaniard Scott, who made his debut at a UFC gym. They were the big guys on campus, two large amateur heavyweights. And Raul Scott, once he got it on the ground, he was able to put on a clinic of ground and pound. And Donovan Lozada tried his best to get out of that bad spot, but the top pressure was unreal from Raul Scott, who just was looking truly seasoned as he's flowing position to position from mount and then ended up taking the back and flattening Lozada out and winning with the Donkey Kong punches. Really, it was just
Hey, it worked.
it was a ferocious barrage and yeah, just really exploding onto the scene.
Those
The
guys-
heavyweights, they've just been more heavyweight fights this year than like my first 5 years
Yep.
calling fights in cage fights.
Statistically,
When's Hassan back? It's the real question.
good
Hassan
fight.
is actually going pro. And
Is he?
Whoa.
so I believe he's actually in here. He said he already has a Halloween walkout already
Oh,
planned.
Jesus.
I think he already had a fight booked for October. And he was going to try to do back-to-back shows. I got to get back in. So for those who have been hitting me up, if you don't know by now, I always take the week after the show off. Sometimes it dabbles into 2. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into this. And, you know, I think not only for me and our crew, but also the fighters. Like, think about what you've been doing to get ready for that fight night. You know, you've probably been putting your full-time job or your part-time job on the back burner. You've been putting your girlfriend or your boyfriend on the back burner, your family time, all that stuff. So I've always just felt that you need a week or 2 after a show to just unwind and disconnect. And I stay true to that. So if you've been jumping into my DMs, you know, that's where I'm at. Today was my first day of like really honing in and getting back to everybody. So I was going down the list, getting back to everybody. So I still have a lot more to go. As you can imagine, my DMs, my text messages, all that stuff.
He doesn't even answer me, and I got 2 belts for him.
Joe will send me 4 text messages before I finally answer him.
I just throw them all out there, and he'll get
Yeah.
back to me eventually.
Yeah, he knows. And then usually I'm pretty good with it because like once I get back to you, I'll answer like all 4.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so today is like my first official day back, getting back to everybody, reaching out, making matches for this upcoming card, kicking the tires. But I got to circle back with Hassan and figure out.
Is yours commenting?
Yeah, he just said I will be back. I threw it up.
I just want to see the walkout.
Yeah, man, I want to see his walkout too. He did
He's
say
gonna roll
he
up
has
in
a
like
good
an
walkout.
orange limo or what?
Dude, he did roll up in a limo. We had
Definitely.
a rapper walk him
Yeah.
out.
It's going to be throwing pumpkins at people.
He's
Trick
got
or
it.
treat.
You know, but there you go. Good win. There you go. Tyler King and Daniel for October.
Oh, shit.
So we'll see what happens.
He's the one that hit the figure 4
Yeah.
footlock, or is that a different heavyweight?
Yeah, it was a
Mitch Raposo. I mean, Mitch Richardson. I work at Coops and it takes 3 days to get an answer and stuff.
Enough
So,
said.
Yeah, trust me. He says that even though his battery. All right, come on, enough blowing my spot up, everybody. I'm bad at getting back to people. All right, that's the moral of this story.
He throws the charger out
Yeah,
the night
I
of the show.
don't even have. Look at her. Whatever. Anyways, we want to talk about fights. Dan Walsh. Go ahead, take it.
John Lee versus Dan Walsh. The signs were in abundance. You know,
Only
Dan
All
Walsh
over the
is my
place.
wife's boyfriend,
Yeah,
all
he
that.
almost
And,
lost his mouth guard in this picture.
and yeah,
Yeah, who
John
was
Lee.
the mouth guard?
Yeah,
Fight?
John Lee came out swinging, and then they were in a firefight for a little bit. And then when Dan Walsh landed a head kick, John Lee was able to catch it, drag it to the mat, but then Dan Walsh able to seamlessly transition into that triangle. And once he got that bite, he just was relentless with it. John Lee doing everything he could to try to posture out of it, laying ground and pound out of it. But Walsh showing him that he's got submission skills under pressure off of his back and got the first round submission finish. And man, an electric reaction from the crowd.
What's up, Fred Blank? He runs the back room for CES. And there you go. Another good-looking corner Joe Lowe's on.
Don't you ever call my corner good looking?
Because
You got Tyler Pimento.
That's a good point.
He's not my dad.
All right. Good fight. Dan Walsh back in the win column. He won his last fight too, right? Or did he lose?
That's no. I think
His
this
first
was
fight
his
back,
first
yeah.
fight back
Okay, so
from
He
his
blasted
loss to
onto
Marcel.
the scene with the Jay Kasky fight of the year.
Mhm.
And he fell up short against Marcel Romero, took time off. And this was his first fight.
Yep, and pretty flawless victory.
Mhm.
And John Lee looking excited to get back in as well. He put up a dogfight as well.
Next up, Julian Connerton, Anthony Scott. I don't
Scott
even know
was
what's
huge.
going on in this match. Right? What is going on?
I don't know.
right
I forget. Did he maybe kick the leg out? I think he might have like scooped his leg and he like.
Oh,
fell
and
down.
he dropped him with a
here?
couple
I gotta
leg
say, I
kicks
love
as
seeing
well.
The wicked Muay Thai shorts. You see Walsh here
Yeah.
wearing them.
And-
These are actually the original prototypes that he's wearing. Anthony Scott right there.
I like those colors.
Those look good.
Yeah, I remember those. Yeah, Anthony Scott was
Big dude.
Yeah.
definitely the
contour.
bigger man versus Julian, but
Look at
Julian
that.
handled that David and Goliath matchup with grit and toughness and precision striking for a lot of that first round where he was landing pop shots, circling and moving well, hit him with a couple of really good leg kicks, and actually sent Anthony Scott to the mat a couple of times, if I remember correctly. It might have just been once, but I thought it was like a couple of times with some really nicely timed leg kicks that Julian
the picture,
Connerton was
yeah.
able to land.
Guys like scared.
Guy
And
gets
then-
so into it.
and then once Anthony Scott was able to really get some timing down, he was able to stay consistent with a beautiful jab that really started peppering Connerton up. And then I think there was a standing 8 count in the second
Was it?
round.
His
I don't think anybody
experience.
went down. Yeah, experience. He had
6-3, I think. He was.
9 and
No.
6. 9 and he had 50.
Technically, he's 11 and 9.
Dude,
Well, he
that's
corrected
solid.
me saying he was 9 and 6.
Oh,
So
no,
that's
really?
yeah.
His coach gave me 11 and 9. But either way, he has
It's Muay Thai, who
shit
knows?
ton of
It's still there's
Fight all the
15
time.
fights or 20 fights. It's still double-digit fights. And Connerton
Mhm.
going into his 4th fight, he's just taking all comers and he's hungry to go in and compete. You've talked to him, and he
wants to do
took a
MMA now,
big
right?
test,
Ooh.
proved a lot even in a loss. But Anthony Scott getting that 3rd round finish after.
And also, Connerton was going to fight MMA, but he came up short in his Muay Thai fight a couple weeks before Cage Titans. So his coach was like, you know what? I want to see him another time or two before I throw him back in MMA. I'm sorry to pull his name back. Connerton was originally going to fight Kasky.
Okay.
And
Oh, wow.
Connerton's probably going to be a 45er.
It's a big
Um,
45er.
So then when they changed their mind, they were like, you know what? Because he came up short, like he didn't handle a few things the way we wanted to see him. We're gonna pull out of the MMA match, but can you put him in Muay Thai? And I'm like, man, it's like 2 weeks before the show. I don't know what I can do. Like, we'll take anybody, 55, whatever. Like, we need to get this kid experience. And that's
How
what
about the
Evolution.
biggest person?
Evolution's
right.
all about. So
Yeah.
I couldn't get him a fight.
Who's wicked
Next thing you
experienced.
know, they were like, I was like, I only got this guy, Anthony Scott. Maybe I can get him to do 55. I hit him up, Sean Schubert, who's here right in the picture. And he's like, yeah, man, he's not going to get down to 55 in 2 weeks. Well, we could do 160. So I go back to Evolution. I'm like, yeah, I only got that guy. Next thing you know, he texts me back. Fuck it. We'll just take it.
Wow.
All right.
Good for them.
Evolution, Keegan's gym,
Yep.
and
They're
Nate Liddy up
gamers.
there. They're just gamers. They want to
You're a
fight.
dog, you're a
They
dog.
want experience. You talk about their guys, Tyler Smythe, Mo Kiani, Ben
Gamers.
Grady. Like, they're all gamers. Every time they come to the show, they're bringing it. And anywho, next up,
Oh,
Kyle Baval
can we
versus
not?
Wayne Downer.
Skip this
We
one.
did not post the picture, so we don't have to put a disclaimer. Kyle Paval out of Triforce, Wayne Downer out of Cage JSA. And, we've heard a lot of good things about Kyle Paval's ground game. And, I think he showed it in this fight.
Yeah, he went for a number of submission attempts, and Wayne Downer showed his diligence and getting out of those submission attempts and how
His
tough he is to
toughness.
put away on
Oh, yeah.
several occasions. There was an arm triangle that was nearly finished, an arm bar at the end of the first round that was as deep as it gets. Yeah, what is that? Carrot? Ooh,
Do you have
I might
that,
have
do you
to
have
get
that
one of
Oreo
them.
cheesecake?
You got to move in there a little bit.
I might need a carrot cake.
Jeez.
We'll eat that off camera.
You got to eat that off camera?
Off camera.
I'll eat that
But,
right on camera. What do you,
So
What
you
kind?
can get Snickers, lemon, red velvet, carrot cake, and chocolate.
chocolate.
Double. It's like double
Yeah.
chocolate.
I
We
did
have
fight at
Try to slide in
170.
a little bit.
We got milk in the freezer. Too.
I did fight at 170.
milk in the
Get the
freezer?
mouse some milk. Yeah.
Yeah.
get- just
In
put
the
one in.
freezer?
Carrot
Put
cake,
it with
please,
the
thank you. I haven't
in
had
the
carrot
milk,
cake
or
in a
milk.
minute. That
Get
looks
this
pretty
milk.
good.
But
Yeah. So
Sorry, we
Wayne
got
Downer
distracted.
showing his toughness on throughout the whole fight, all the way up into the final moment. That
Literal
we all know,
refusal
like-
to tap.
Yeah.
well,
like
that was
just-
the thing. Like
that
he
kid
was
just
trying to get
refused.
up.
I've
Yeah.
never seen
Yeah.
somebody do that.
I
And
thought he was going to
almost
actually
there.
reverse him.
He was
I was
almost
like,
up.
shoot, he's going to reverse him.
It
And
looked
then-
like he straight armed it a little bit
The
at the
most
last second, but no,
loudest
it
thing
was
ever.
that was
Have we gotten
Jesus
any
crazy.
updates on that?
That kid's
So,
a
yeah, I've
high,
got-
It's a
high
radio
level
fracture,
grappler.
right?
It's
Mhm.
humorous. Yep.
Oh,
That kid's a high level grappler. I mean,
yeah.
elite,
Kyle?
elite level.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just see
Chatted with him once,
elite level. Let's see.
Well,
but yeah,
I think that's a sign.
I'm gonna need you to get Zach a fight and make him come on here so I can get more of those waffle fries. Well, Stephanie, I don't know if you've seen Zach.
It's your job to get him on here.
Hold on. I don't know if you've seen Zach yet, but we did confirm his fight October 29th. He will be headlining Cage Sides 56.
He's about to get in trouble for not telling
So-
him before.
Yeah. He already has the fight. And we just made it probably, hold on, I'll give you.
I feel like we should just announce it at this point.
No, we're going to announce it later. We'll announce
I'm trying to
We
be a
made
man
it
of the people
at-
here.
11:09 today. So I don't know if you've talked to him yet, but 11:09 we made the
waffle
fight.
fries too, actually.
I didn't even know we had
Was
waffle
that with
fries.
the coach?
That was with the coach.
So,
But he did talk to him and said, sounds good, we're in.
okay.
So
We like that.
tell me if you're a fighter without being telling me you're a fighter. You eat like a fat kid in the off season.
Hey,
But
I
yeah,
fought
Kyle
a waffle fry.
Paval, I'm sure he'll be back. Wayne Downer, as an update, we did do a GoFundMe.
Make sure you
Maybe
donate.
somebody can throw it into the comments. I don't know. But we did a GoFundMe. I've talking to him multiple times over the past 2
Did he get
weeks.
surgery?
No, it looks like he's not going to do surgery right
Oh,
now.
wow.
Really?
It looks like they're
Holy shit.
holding it out.
That's awesome.
And I think that's it
Good for
right
him.
now. He's in a sling. He's kind of bummed out.
Oh, of
And
course.
more than anything, he's bummed out he can't be working out.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
like one of the things he asked.
That
about.
was that.
Joe. Andy talked to
Yeah,
him.
when I chatted with him, that was his thing. Is that he's just looking forward to get back to training, which is just a testament to his.
What an
to
animal.
Just exactly what an
Holy
animal
shit.
indeed. He proved it in the fight, and he's proven it with this. I was
What an animal.
shocked with how well he took it. Like honestly, at the end of the day, just it's a
literal-
part of the
Just another
game
injury. Yeah.
type of deal, and
He learned a
and
lesson
that was
in a
some
way.
traumatic shit.
I mean, that's about the biggest lesson you can learn.
and he's like, yeah, he's known for his toughness in the gym. He's known for his tough, and he definitely proved it there. But it was, he's
Jesus
excited to
Christ.
get back in. So yeah, just GoFundMe
I
is
beat
just going to
you.
help any kind of.
Gotta be
Oh,
quicker
Mitch
than that.
Richardson.
Look at that.
Mitch
got-
got
See,
it.
we're all here
I was
for
the
him.
first.
We all
Yeah,
got the link.
We're a community together, so it's like any contributions from anybody is
Joe
going to
got
be
it
able
up
to
there. I
help.
got it up there. We all got it up there.
Yeah, there we go.
If you can't donate, just share it. 'cause
Yeah,
maybe
share
somebody
it
that
out.
can donate will see it.
But no, and he's in good spirits, and I'm sure he'll be back. He already talked about it.
The crowd's gonna go wild.
That
Yeah,
whole
man.
team is a bunch of dogs.
Yeah, him, Lee.
They were all in
Amazing.
amazing fights that
And it's funny. So I talked to Briars afterwards, their coach. That was their first time coming back, and like, it's kind of weird. Like their first time fighting for us, but they went 0-3, and they had that bad arm break. And like I'm like, shit. Like, how do I talk to this coach? Because I'm like, fuck. Like, they went 0-3. Like I don't make fights a certain way to
Yeah.
make somebody win, but like, you don't ever go plan
Yeah,
on
that's-
going to a show
Yeah.
3 hours away because
Striking
mine
out.
they're 4 hours away, 4 hours away, and then come up 0-3, and also have one of your guys have like the nastiest injury we've seen
Yep.
locally and
We-
worst I've seen.
we've
Except for
seen
your ear,
almost.
dude.
Yeah.
That was, but you
Yeah.
were okay.
But you were just
Yeah.
as bad though because you were like, oh, we can just restart, right?
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah.
No.
I was, but that wasn't even local. But that was in Brazil. But your air was pretty fucking nasty. I'll
That
put
was
that
like-
up there.
That was definitely.
I mean, like
That was
Anderson
viral.
Silva level, like leg break,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
I
what we had at Case
oh,
Science.
free. Yeah.
You know, that was a oof. That was.
I don't know. I had buddies in California text me about his ear. They were like, "Is that your buddy?" I was like, "That's Johnny."
Oh.
Yeah, that
Good
was
job.
I remember fighting with the commission lady who we're in Brazil and no one speaks English. I'm like, they're like, you can't get in the cage. I'm like trying, like when I finally realized what happened, because like it took a second.
It looked
I'm like,
weird.
what the hell's going
like,
on?
in the
And
moment?
then I'm outside. I try to get into the cage, and they're like holding me back. I'm like, his fucking ears off! Let me in the cage. I just remember like vividly screaming at the lady, like, I gotta get in there. His ears off, and like just yelling at her, and they're just looking at me
Oh,
like,
hanging
no,
by
no,
a
no,
thread.
no. And I'm like, oh man. If
That's
somebody
nice.
wants to throw that picture in the comments,
You don't have to, but if you have it,
If you have it.
No.
Uh,
About to eat
But-
some carrot
Oh,
cake.
man.
Anyways, great fight. You know, and I look forward to Briars and Cage JSA going back up. I
Definitely.
did talk to him earlier today. He's actually cornering Carlos Candelario
Yeah.
that week, so they're not going to be available for the October 29th card. But hopefully, we'll get something else, and those guys will be back.
I'm looking
Um,
forward to all those guys
yeah.
coming back. Lee, Downer, and Lopez.
it looked like a bunch of wet popcorn coming out of Johnny's ear.
Oh,
That is a
stop
great
it.
comment.
Stop
John.
it.
Great comment. And
I mean,
anywho-
they put it on pretty good. I
They
mean,
did.
you can't even tell.
You really wouldn't even tell.
Next up, we had him in the comments earlier. Thomas taking on Doolin.
Honestly, that kid's all over my TikTok. I've watched him knock that guy out like 4 times on 4 different videos.
Really?
Doolin?
Yeah.
All over
Will
my
the drill?
TikTok.
Yeah, Will the
kidding.
Drill Doolin had a great
Look at those
debut.
shorts. It's funny. So
Yeah,
I spilled a bunch of crap like setting up on my shorts, and I went up to the Wicked Boy tie. I was like, dude, I need some shorts. I got stains on it. They try to give me these. I'm like, I'm not wearing these fucking shorts.
You should have done it.
I'm not that cool.
You should have done it.
I'm dad. I got cargo shorts and like polo shirt and
Yeah.
like a dry fit polo, and that's about my style. I cannot pull off these leopard, but he did pull these leopards off.
Yeah, he did.
He was intense in the locker room.
And another one wearing the cage side short. Love it.
Yeah, James Tomahawk Thomas going in and putting up a war as well, back and forth battle. I think this one ended in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. But Will the Drill Doolin, he landed a standing 8 count, and then by the end of the second round, he was able to drop Thomas
An elbow.
again. Yeah, with an elbow. Finally, there were elbows being thrown legally with the amateur Muay Thai. All fights had elbows on display, from Manchild to Jiggy and Scott and
Will
Ferguson
Dolan's going
was
to be
landing
coming back
elbows,
October
so-
29th, and he's going to be doing MMA.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Oh my
Thank you
lord.
so
Was there a
much.
fake glove touch?
Could I? Can I actually put in an order of waffle fries as well, please?
fries?
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna save
Did
this.
we have? Was there a fake
So
glove
should I get
touch?
my own?
I don't
Talking
recall.
about Hamza?
All right, maybe Benny
Yo,
baseball.
hold on. First of all, we see MMA fighting trying to put a target on my back.
Yeah,
To use my tweet to shit on Hamza.
That was pretty
I
funny.
was like,
though.
listen,
I hope Hamzat comes for you.
listen. I was a couple drinks deep. I hope he can dodge a bullet.
But yeah, that was a hell of a fight. And if Will the Drill Doolin is making his MMA debut, then damn, it's a ferocious kid from
Well, wait.
from my hometown, Holliston,
1
Mass.
Next
Gotta
up,
shout out to
we
Hollis.
talked about
Let's
them earlier as
go.
one of the stars of the night that stood out.
Had the crowd
This
roaring.
fight was in.
You actually in the video. This is new decibel level. Was that the comment from this fight?
Yeah, that's about right. It got crazy. It was loud there just from the introduction of Jay Curley. He brought a ton of fans, but Rafael Lopez brought the thunder and the fire.
Dropped him, right?
Just gave me a
Dropped
heart
him with the
attack.
Could not even
beautiful
believe it.
left hook. Jay Curley
His
had
hands.
and
What?
he was
The hands.
the hands were
The
crisp the whole
yeah.
fight. He dropped them and then was landing some serious hands throughout the fight. Was able to get up several times. Jay Curley showing his wrestling pedigree that, you know, if you didn't know beforehand, unless you were really in the know, nobody knew how good this kid really was. And Rafael Lopez was able to handle it
Yeah.
for a strong duration of the fight and really start coming away on the scorecards. I thought he was landing the better of the hand exchanges throughout most of the fight. It was an absolute
hurt
war.
Curley
Both guys.
At least once.
Jaden
Like,
Curley got
hurt,
dropped
hurt.
and it went straight to
Oh, hurt him
sniffing
real
crotch. All right, I'll give you that one.
He got dropped and
I'll give
woke
you
up
that
and went,
one.
"Oh yeah, I'm a wrestler," and
Good.
then he just dumped that kid whenever he wanted.
He just like the way that he's able to blanket himself on his hips.
He's super
and then just
athletic
pick
on
him
top
up.
of
That
having
was
that flow. It's
Yep.
funny because we're working with him, striking and grappling
So
wise
you're-
to flow.
If you can't picked up what he's putting down, he's trained with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we work with him to flow, and he kind of struggles flowing in certain things, striking and grappling wise. But the wrestling for such an explosive kid, I mean, you saw it in the fight. He just flows from takedown to takedown, chain wrestles really well. Like that's just his pedigree, and it's just that's where his fight IQ is, and it's expanding.
Yeah, for a young kid making his debut, he showed a lot of wherewithal in there and came away with a big victory. And Rafael Lopez, you're talking about the guys that have Cage JSA being dogs. He really showcased all of that throughout this fight. And his hands,
oh my gosh.
he's
They were
made
great.
a reputation at 170. 170 was a real fun weight class on display this fight card. A lot of welterweight fights, all of them delivering. And this one definitely stole the show. That's definitely right up there with the decibel levels at its highest peak that I've heard in that building.
That was Randy
definitely the
Costa.
loudest. Yeah, that
like,
was that was Randy Costa level
you know,
crowd.
Only Dan's. That was
Mhm.
that level, if not higher. Yeah.
100%.
Shameless.
No,
Those are
through-
shameless.
throughout that fight, there were so many big momentum shifts from the strikes to the high amplitude wrestling that everybody just kept escalating and escalating the noise until the fight was finished. Crazy fight.
Then it got even louder when the fight was finished.
Crazy fight.
All right.
And that's the one that finished off
Conrad,
Undercard,
he's a
right?
big dude, huh?
Conrad's freaking
Yes,
huge.
he's a large human.
All right. Next up, Delahaye versus Smith. This was surprising. I thought this was going to be a lot longer fight, and Delahaye came out and he was look at that. He was fucking whipping baseballs.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought this was going to be an interesting grappling match between both guys who have a really strong wrestling pedigree and what we know out of Josh Smith. Josh Smith, Smash Smith, that's just what he does. He never gets tired. He gets top position, and he is relentless with his ground and pound. But Delahaye put on a pace. The wrestling counteracted each other. He was able to sprawl and brawl flawlessly at this point, mixing in the kicks, throwing hellish leather throughout until the fight was stopped. Just a brutal pace, coming away with a very early win against a durable, tough game and dangerous opponent in Josh Smith.
Then he went out for the call out.
Yeah.
Brody McDougal.
Turns
and
out
then
he's-
decided he's going to go pro.
Yeah, well, I think
Wait, he's
I
going
want to.
pro?
I want to see that title fight.
I know. I
so
did.
bad.
But
as
it's
a
funny. So
fan.
Richie comes running up to me. He's like, "Yo, he's going to call out McDougal." And I came and got Johnny. I'm like, "All right,
Yep.
we don't interview. We got to interview him." And then we get it all. I got it recorded on my phone. I'm all ready to go. And then by like the time they got to the back room, they're like, "Yeah, we're going to go pro." I was like,
oh man.
"Yeah, that would have been a good fight, though."
Would have
Definitely
been.
would have been a good fight. But hats off to Delahaye. Great to see him bounce back like that. He came up short in his first showing with us when he lost to Jack Congdon for the title. But he came back and showed who he really was, and it was a great
And
performance.
it's not a knock losing to Jack. Jack's
Jack's
a
a
big
beast.
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Congdon, who's making his pro debut on October 29th.
That's
Oh damn!
Yes.
big.
All right. So there's the
Look at
call out.
Johnny.
Look at
Oh,
Johnny.
He's like, yeah,
Enjoying
we
the
can
moment.
fight in October or I'll go pro, whatever. It's like, bro,
Adrenaline.
what happened to
Yeah. Well, that was all stage.
We
But
were
you
so
know, adrenaline is a
excited.
crazy drug. He's
Yeah,
all.
it is. I know. I don't even know what we're laughing at right here. I don't even think anything was funny. But look
Just
at
violence.
us.
You are
Just
cheesing hard, Johnny. You got like slits for
Mhm.
eyes. You're both cheesing.
Yeah, look, I know.
Yeah, good
Something's
moment, good moment.
hilarious.
I think you said like
Something
oh,
about
I
his
heard
mom.
You wanted the mic and you started laughing, so you started laughing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next up, holy crap! What a
Holy
fight this
shit.
one was.
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel!
I know it was
Holy
only 20
shit.
seconds, but I blinked and only saw the last 3 seconds of the fight. That was all I
Sheesh.
needed to see.
Thunderous. Jadafa Ojukwu has been a force of nature at 185, 205, coming in 4-1, cardio machine, well-rounded throughout, great clinch wrestling, something like a tremendous a brown belt in Brazilian
There it
Jiu-Jitsu,
is.
all of the accolades. And then David Burke, only been trading a few months, a physical specimen early in his career, 2-0,
Did he
comes
land
in.
this?
And yes, he
Yeah.
did. He
was bad.
he Francis Ngannou
Yeah, he did.
Jadafa Ojukwu with that because that combination, he cracked him with what looked like a right hand initially that put Jadafa Ojukwu
I wanna
on the
tell
baby
Burke,
gazelle legs.
He actually sold more tickets, so shush in the crowd. He had more fans there. He sold more tickets. I always think it's funny because like they don't know that, so they think they're coming down.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you actually sold like 3 times the amount of tickets as your opponent.
He's like, you're telling your mom to shut
Yeah, like
up.
they're cheering for you because you actually had the bigger crowd.
but
But yeah, great.
it was insane. The flurry that he threw stayed on Ojukwu while he had him hurt, even though he slipped
Yeah.
off of.
Did he
like,
get kicked or something?
I don't think so. I think he just
He
threw
just had-
everything he
just
had,
too excited.
slipped,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then popped right back up and landed another 2-piece.
I think it kind of messed with Jadafa because he kind of
100%.
like
he
was
tried
like,
to, he tried to counter with it.
he was
right.
like, what the heck? And then boom.
Well, he was also no, thank you.
So,
very
Yeah,
much.
he
Appreciate it.
when Duke was trying to counter with that right hand, that's when he got caught.
Yep.
So trying to hit somebody standing up definitely threw him off. That was one of those videos though. I watched that video
I
like
think
10
I have
times
this.
just because like you see him
Just
fall
'cause
and
we're
then he gets
talking.
up and he lands that. Yeah,
It's like,
I was like, what the hell?
oh my gosh.
Let me see if I
Crazy
can get
fight,
that one
crazy
going.
victory, new champ at 185, and man, what a force to be reckoned with he's going to be.
Let me see if I can get that photo up for you guys. I mean, that video. Let me see.
I
Oh,
still
do
can't
you have
believe we
it?
had 15 finishes out of 18 fights. That's just crazy.
That is pretty great.
Share
yeah.
screen.
man.
Especially with all like the well-matched
Mhm.
fights. Like they were not.
Yeah, they were competitive fights.
Yeah.
Perfect GIF too. If you play it forward and backward,
Yeah.
like seeing them stand up.
And then he's down.
All right,
Yeah.
here we go. Ready?
No.
Plank.
Let's see if we can get it. I think it is.
One guy down, other guy down.
Is this it? Oh, that's him yelling. He's a very excited, boisterous guy.
What the hell is it?
There he is.
Large
Oh,
middleweight,
maybe
too.
this.
No, the one under it. Oh no, you're right. Oh,
Huh.
Let me see if I got the one when he slips though.
that
No,
one?
this is when they walked out.
Uh,
I think we posted it recently. Let me see.
definitely on TikTok.
There's your here it is. Bada bing.
Oh yeah.
Bing. Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. What happened? Then he actually
Oh.
grabbed his foot, like his leg, like he was gonna pull him down with him. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys. I know this isn't huge, but go to our Instagram. We do a great job. Nick kills it over there, and he captures all of it. But like, boom, he slips. Then people are
He's
shitting
right
on
back
us.
at it.
Damn,
People are
dude,
shitting
how
on us. They're like,
did
"Oh
he-
man, that mat must suck."
I saw that.
and
yeah.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, we got a pretty damn good mat." Like, we
I've
shit.
definitely fought on way slipperier mats.
Yeah, like, come on, don't be shitting on our mat. He was so excited. He fucking.
He was
Yeah,
throwing
his-
some heat.
It looked like his foot didn't even touch the mat. It just
Yeah.
like slid out from under him.
Dude, he's an animal. And then
What?
getting his dad in there, like they were trying to get his dad in there. Like, listen, you gotta slow it. Like, and he's like, that's my son. I'm like, I get it, your son.
Damn.
Like,
That's my
Yeah,
boy.
Like your son just knocked
I was
someone
like, I grew up,
unconscious.
like,
Someone, yeah.
please, I promise I'll do my best. I'm a dad of 5. I feel the dad moment,
Yep.
but like, just give me a minute. Like, let me get the kid who we just knocked out
Okay.
fucking okay and out of there before I start bringing in a whole,
Sheesh.
slew of parade of people.
No kidding.
Dude, man, he went
but-
out.
Yeah, it was stiff.
And
A big
yeah,
shot.
man, it was great. David Burke,
It was
his
great.
middleweight Ngannou.
Yeah, I mean that last shot especially.
Yeah. And Tyler Pimentel. Anyone saying that match sucks, F off. Yeah, so
No, ferocious knockout.
ferocious and unbelievable. He's out for a while with an injury. I think he broke his wrist or a hand or something.
That makes sense.
And he will be back hopefully again. I had a scary moment with him as well because in the next fight we're about to go do, he didn't bring his belt. Arthur. So like I needed Dave's
You did good.
in the
Be
event
like,
that
hey, can I carry?
I
this?
was like, and he did not want to give that fucking thing up, and it was awkward. It was an awkward moment. I'm like, listen, here's the deal: your opponent didn't bring your belt, his belt. This guy didn't bring his belt. I only got one here. Like, I really just need to use it for pictures. And he's like, you're not taking this belt. I was like, you can stand right here. Like, just stand right here, and I promise I'll give it back. And then, as you know, I didn't need to use it for the pictures, and I was like,
Oh,
Take
that's
it
right.
back.
yeah, take it back, and don't be mad at me.
Why didn't
But-
he have to use it for the pictures?
You had
Because
somebody
Arthur
else's?
won, but if Tyler won,
He needed
I would
to
have
give
been in
him
this
a belt.
fucking crazy situation where we're gonna want to get that opportunity to have him with both belts on his shoulder, kind of like the McGregor moment where they had to go back and get Tyron Woodley's belts because McGregor wins and he's the champ, but they don't have his other like.
There's always a belt shortage.
Yeah, it was a very awkward thing, and it was, and luckily it worked out for me because I was not going to go back to David Burke. Give me that damn belt. But anyways, the most insane opening of a fight, Arthur and Tyler Smith.
Holy shit, yeah.
Like I actually had to get up in the cage and like, get in the middle of
Gets
these
so
two.
aggressive.
I got him
Fights.
between them 3 times.
Yeah, I need to go to these. Yeah, these guys were nuts. Like before the fight, now they're headbutting each other.
Mhm.
And then, so we finally get the, yeah. Oh, is it him?
On the full album.
Oh.
I know.
All right. So we're literally, what do you want to eat, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe doesn't have anything to eat. You want something?
Joe's all business.
I want cake.
He's all business right now.
Anyway, we're about to introduce them and they're already trying to go at it. We separate them and get the introductions done. The next thing you know, Chris Burke has the bright idea to bring him center cage to read the instructions. We haven't done this
Haven't
at
done it all night.
Oh,
I
no.
thought that
All
was
night.
weird.
No, what he did was he took them both in. And he's like, listen, don't look at your opponent. Look at me. No bullshit in this fight. No bullshit in this fight. You keep it clean and you listen to my instructions. Then he went to Tyler and looked him in the eye and said, look at me, not your opponent. Look at me. No bullshit in this. It got so heated in there. He had to remind them who the hell was boss in there. Obey all commands at all
I
times.
will tell you, when he's both
They
pulling
kept
in
it
the
clean.
middle, I'm like, don't do this.
I
dude.
thought- I
And then
saw
I'm
the same
following him,
thing.
and I'm like,
No. What he did, he told them
no,
both.
no,
like,
he didn't do it because then they were headbutting each other.
The
All right, I
precedent
gotta
was
get the
right,
picture.
but he got them in the middle, and I was watching like, this is a bad idea.
All right, I'm gonna get to the picture.
Because like as a fighter, like that's the biggest reason I wouldn't go to the center of the cage. Because then if he's putting his head in my face, like I'm gonna headbutt him back. I'm not gonna back down.
If Smythe just didn't overreact in this first, like before the fight even started,
Yeah.
then he might have had that last 30 seconds in him
Yeah,
to just get the W.
I know.
well, we'll
was
get
so,
back to that in a minute.
He
but
was so
hold on.
close.
So close.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have
Sucks.
too much time to get back to the picture. So screw
I
it.
don't
We got
even-
18 fights to
I
talk
mean,
about.
Arthur did awesome.
Arthur
We're
did
almost done.
great. I mean, obviously he did great. I mean, he lasted. He
Yeah,
lasted
yeah.
longer than his opponent. Who
Little
Smythe's
bit of
wrestling
skill.
looked great.
Jesus, look at you guys.
Get
You're
it.
eating me out of house and home.
I know.
Did you put
No,
those
I'm
on the
just
board?
Yeah.
You
I
got
wrote
it.
it down so you wanted to comment or whatever.
Well, you got to put it on that
Manager
board.
Johnny here.
So, Tyler,
Keep
it
it
was,
shifty.
it was a great
Exactly.
fight. I will just say that was a little nerve wracking when he pulled him center cage. And I like the excitement of it, but for those two, and I get what he was trying to do, but those two were already going at it. I actually said something to Burke after the first round because I had to run in the cage after the first round. He separated them in the action, but he didn't like really get in there
Yeah,
to
from
separate
his
the
corner.
action. So as he stops them and they stand up, they immediately get back and they're headbutting each other again. And I'm like, Chris, dude, you got to get in there. Like these
thank
two.
you.
And I get it. Like, stop the bullshit. And like, I know what he's trying to do. But I was like, dude, you got to get in. Like, you got to get between these two because if you just say break and think they're going to go back to their corner, that's not
Wow.
going to happen.
Yeah, 100% wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
With those two, wrong.
I was a fan of how Chris handled it. I thought he definitely had to let them know to.
I don't think he was
Tone
wrong
it down a
for
bit.
letting them know for sure, but it was just I think it was because there was nobody else in the cage. Having them center cage was like, oh shit.
I was there for the whole thing. I missed the headbutt. I didn't even see the headbutt, but
Where were you? Dude,
I
they were
was-
like literally headbutting. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Relax, guys.
but he separated them, and they both fought nice the whole fight.
What an insane fight, though.
That was a
crazy fight because Tyler Smythe came out
It was a high pace.
and set the pace for the first 3 rounds, really solidifying himself on the scorecards. And he didn't go out to coast for the last 2 rounds either. So his dominant wrestling really put him ahead 30-27 early, I think, on everybody's scorecards, even throughout the crowd. It's pretty
100%.
evident he spent the majority of the fight on top, landing economic ground and pound, and Arthur Mapofu was struggling to get up. And then by the 4th round, Mapofu was able to get up, stuff some shots, land some big strikes, finished off the 4th round with a really devastating flurry that included a double up of some vicious body kicks. And then Tyler Smythe comes out in the 5th round, like the dog that he is, tries to put a stamp on it, no cruising, really trying to get in, score top position, end with dominant position. And when Mapofu got back up to his feet and landed some flurries, there was a shot that took Smythe's mouthpiece out. And then upon Chris Burke trying to put the mouthpiece back in, there was a physical withdrawal from
Like
the
Jack
mouthpiece.
style.
It was a heave. There was he
Yeah.
couldn't put it in physically. And at the amateur level, that was enough to stop it. That's what happened there. The referee went and said no, and stopped the fight because of the body language of Tyler Smythe, who just emptied the gas tank in a 5-round war against somebody who refused to go away, and Mapofu defending his championship that late in the fight. Just someone who has notoriously been able to edge some really close scorecards throughout, put a finishing touch on it, got the late finish, retained the belt.
So, what I remember watching towards the end, and I think was the scorecards Smythe
Yeah.
all 4 rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 4th.
Either 3-1 going into the 5th, or
So Smythe's gonna win.
Yes.
And I remember I'm walking out back, and I'm about to get the graphics because I make all the graphics. So like I'm about to get the and new and the and still and get that ready to get to Nick to get him on social media. And I stop and I'm watching for a second, and it looks like I in my mind I think Arthur's down, so I'm like, he's gonna lose, blah blah blah, and it's like 15 seconds, so I'm stopped looking as I'm walking back to the office, and Arthur's unloading on him. I'm like, he's gonna finish him, And then all of a sudden, he stops his flurry of punches, points to the ground, tells the guy to pick up his mouth guard, and I'm like, he just lost himself to fight.
Yep.
If he decided to keep humbling on him,
Over.
he might be able to TKO him. He just lost himself to fight. And I'm like, wow, that was a dumb move. That was
4D chess.
Yeah.
and little do I know, next thing you know, they go to put the mouth guard in, he just spits it out.
It's
They go
like
put
he
it
knew.
again. And I'm like, holy shit, that and
Dog
I don't
fight.
want to say poor Smythe. Like, I mean, I guess poor Smythe, like 5 more seconds, 10 more seconds.
Yep.
If he could have like walked around a second or whatever, I mean,
Gotta swallow it.
you know, whatever he's got to do. It was definitely odd. Supposedly he said, I feel like I have to puke. He didn't puke. I know that they've now made a rule in Massachusetts probably 2 or 3 years ago that any bodily fluids automatic TKO because there has been pukes in the cage. Johnny, did you puke? You puked?
I
Both
puked
did.
post fight.
Yeah, post
In the
fight.
cage.
Balance bar, like
Yeah.
right after the
Uh,
fight.
I puked in the corner bucket.
Yeah, the corner
It's
bucket.
different.
Montoya Swillen puked in the
corner
bucket.
Yeah.
Actually, who else? What the hell?
Anthony Rivera. did
Anthony Rivera puked on the doctor's coat.
Oh
he
no.
was getting checked out.
Yeah, just a little spit up.
but
like a
anyways,
baby.
God damn.
You know, Tyler Smythe's on the road to getting his second belt,
Yep.
25-35 champ status. He's also the NEF champion. Like this kid is just a stud, and he put it on Arthur. And like I said, I thought that IQ on
listen.
Arthur. I was like, dude, why are you telling him to pick? Like, just keep hitting. If somebody drops their mouth guard, don't be a
Yeah, it's
gentleman and
not
say
your
pick
job.
it up. Like, not
Bust
your
him
job.
up.
Just keep
No
hitting them.
gentleman.
Seriously,
Yeah.
both of these guys looking like they're ready to go pro in the next fight at the end of it because
How
it
many
was
fights
just
does Arthur have? Man?
Arthur is now 6-4. He's
6-4,
just had his
A lot of
10th
amateur
fight.
He
fights.
said
and
maybe one more amateur fight.
Tyler Smythe now 5-3. That's 8 fights under
A
his
lot.
belt already. So these guys are really 2 seasoned amateurs, and they fought a back and forth matchup and a big come from behind victory for Arthur Mapofu. Just showcasing
And you
the
gotta
caliber
remember,
of
you're a
amateur
champ.
fighters once you get under
And-
the upper echelon, let alone
And
the
Tyler
first time you
Smythe's
walk
a
out there.
25 champ, went up to 35.
Mhm.
Arthur just fought for the 45-pound title.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like, there's big size difference there, and he was up. He was doing well. Shout out to Zach Cyril. He said he hid the puke from the commission.
Gotta do what you gotta
anyways,
do.
What's up, Will Asia? Hopefully we'll get you
Yes,
back
that's
October
solid.
29th.
What up, Will Asia?
And here we go.
What's the next fight?
Cam Arnold.
Throwing bombs.
Dude, this guy, every fight picture, he's screaming.
That's before the fight.
Every picture, he's got that. He's ready to go.
Oh, he gave me the full TJ Dillashaw treatment in there.
What's
that time.
that?
He's all fired. He's like
He's
screaming
getting
his
his name
name as
out.
I'm screaming his name. Like,
Oh, you got
yeah.
a face-to-face
Yeah,
screaming?
yeah, it was pretty intense. He gets fired up in
Got
there.
that Captain Caveman look to him.
Yeah.
And Mike the Titan Taylor coming out and bringing it, trying to gauge the distance, landing some kicks of his own, and Cam Arnold was able to close the distance with some beautiful inside leg kicks. You see him throwing some high kicks there.
What is
Crazy
that?
shots
Was that a
there.
front kick?
Like an axe kick.
Looks like
I
he's
think
kicking
he
a
threw a
tall
high
dude.
kick and it just angled weird towards the end of
Yeah,
it.
he fight a
'Cause he
tall
was
dude.
whipping
That looks like
kicks.
Zohan. I smell my
Yeah.
The foot uppercut. But yeah,
Did he land this?
Looks
I don't-
like it.
maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
man.
know.
On the
It's
top
not a
of the
video.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably didn't feel great, but it looked like it.
But yeah, no, Mike Taylor was landing some shots and starting to pop shot and starting to really dance around and just get out of range of Cam Arnold. But Cam Arnold found the range eventually and timed it. It was a left hook in his pro debut. It was a straight right hand off the left hook in this fight that
Going
initially knocked him down, and then the flurry of ground and pound to finish it off was beautifully aggressive. Tremendous finish. Mike Taylor did everything he could to fight out of it, but the ground and pound and the heavy hands of Cam Arnold got the job done.
Cam, love you, brother. I like you a little cleaner shaven. You know, a little,
Captain
a little
Caveman.
better coif. But I mean, if you're going for the caveman look, I guess I'm not mad at that either. Brought his wife in here, was pregnant. Brings all the main crew coming down. We love having Cam inside the cage. Candidate for KO of the year, I'm looking for. That's what Cam has to say. Dude, every punch Cam throws
It's for KO of the
is
year.
KO of the year all over it. This kid just loves bombing. But anyways, we love having Cam down from Maine, part of the Cage Titans family. And we hope to see him again soon. And it's a good opportunity to throw a shot out. He is looking for an apartment down here. So if anybody has any connections, let Cam know. Hit him in the DMs. Andrew Valdina, coincidentally, is in the comments here.
making
And
his pro debut.
he looks like he's hungry. He's got the silverware going. And I guess it's a perfect opportunity to announce Andrew Valdina will be making his pro debut. He's been dropping that news for a while now. And he will be taking on the guy that we just saw standing across from Cam, Mike Taylor. We made that fight official today.
Okay.
Um,
You guys were
It's a
busy
fun
today,
debut
man.
for Andrew
Today's my
Valdina.
first day, like
Matchmaking like
matchmaking
crazy.
Tuesday. Like this is my first day back in 2 weeks since the show, and it was like DMs and text message all day. But
Valdina.
Andrew Valdina will be taking Mike Taylor in his pro debut, and we will be rolling out the graphics and the posters all week. But since Andrew Valdina is here, I figured I'd give him a little drop in the drop there now. So there you
Yeah,
go.
man, it's a fun debut for Valdina. Mike Taylor's a dog. He takes all comers, and
Enjoys every minute of it.
Valdina, he's been as active as you get as an amateur. He's done everything you can do as an amateur, fighting for titles, going deep into fights, learning lessons and wins and losses. Definitely ready to go. Whoop my butt Saturday.
Yeah, Valdina, this kid, 4-3, 7 amateur fights. He's seen the highest, the highs. He's come up short in some of his fights. He's learned everything there is. And it's like, his coach, Joe Lozon, who would know better, he's like, yo, listen, man, you've done everything you need to do in amateurs. You figured everything out that you need to figure out. Let's go. Just keep Mike Taylor and his brother away from the after party. Yeah, Mike Taylor and his brother get crazy at the after party.
I just go back to the hotel and go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
Safest thing for me.
Andrew Mack, I don't know if Valdina can win without his mullet. Maybe he'll grow his mullet back. I don't know. I will say I do like the mullet, Valdina. I am a fan of the mullet. Anyways, next fight, we're cranking through them all. We got Will Sriracha. I think he changed his nickname to
Yeah,
Sriracha.
Will Sriracha Smith
It used to
versus
be
Lionel
Will.
Bugs Young. Yeah.
Taking on Lionel Young. This was an interesting fight. Zach's in the comments. We actually talked about this. A lot of the talk is Will, if he could weather that initial flurry, maybe take over late in the
Yeah.
fight. And
Will's a fucking
Lionel is
beast.
just, he's not messing around. He's coming out, all cylinders.
Yeah, Lionel hits hard. People forget. I mean, he's been around a long time. He's fought over several divisions. Has fought way heavier than 145. Long ago, with almost a different era of the sport. So he's got a resurgence in his career right now. And after this win, being 3-1 in his last 4, is still keeping a spot near the top at the 145-pound division.
I've never pictured him as like an anime guy.
Yeah, bro,
Those
Dragon Ball
Gokus.
Z. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, his left
Hey, it
hook
paid
is
off.
as dangerous as they come in the game, honestly, because like you said, Will Sriracha Smith probably had the game plan of taking it into the deep waters. He's got the gas tank and the dog determination to take fights into those deep and murky waters and come away with the victory. And that's probably what he was looking to do, but he didn't weather the storm this time around. And Lionel Young getting the early finish. I thought that stoppage might have been a little early for my taste, but it was a
think it
great
was 'cause he was
follow-up from.
flattened out.
Yeah. I think I understand it as well for sure.
Yeah.
Johnny
it was
dodged the bullet. He was going to call you out.
Yeah.
Lionel's calling everybody out. He called Jay Perrin out.
Well, he after he wins,
he didn't
he's
call
in
Jay
there.
Perrin. He said to Jay Perrin he wanted to fight him. I don't know if you saw that. He said cage side that he wanted to fight
He was
him.
up at the cage, right?
No,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was right on the cage, calling Perrin right
He
out.
goes, who heard what he said?
I
You
already
heard
said it was fucked up. I'm not saying it. That's fucked
You hear
up.
what he
He's
said?
gonna wipe his ass all over this place. That Jay said it to him.
But
But
That's what Jay said.
no,
Yeah.
Jay said that to him. But what did Lionel say to him?
Just
He
that
said
he's
fucked
after,
up shit.
when you're out of the UFC, you can fight me in this.
Yeah, well,
But yeah,
Jay
he was
proceeded to say, "I'll wipe your ass."
he was
all
calling
over."
everyone out. I announced it. He's getting there. The picture's taken. He's like, "Yo, Andy!" And I'm like, and he's
Calling
like,
out
"Get
Andy.
over!" And I was like, "What? You want me in the picture?" And he's like, "Give me the mic." And I'm like, "No!" And I just had to run out. And he was like, and he's still screaming at the OA. I was like, "Don't
He was-
He did
don't
that
hit
to
me,
me in
folks."
July. I was like, Andy, let me see the
Yeah,
mic. He
yeah.
starts running out. I'm like, give me this freaking mic.
Yeah, yeah,
he
but
was
Books looked
not-
angrier.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Yeah.
He was on the warpath, like in the cage, wanting to call everybody out. Then I go back to the interview
He was
room,
still hyped up.
and he was screaming at me. I don't know if they caught it, and like he's just yelling and screaming, and it's just like, Lionel, enough with the bullshit that everybody hates you. Like, not everybody hates you. Like, like we have you back every show. Like, if you when you're training and you want to have that chip on the shoulder, like everybody's against me, you know, like that's cool. But like behind the scenes when we're in the closed room,
Yeah.
like we're all cool. We're all part of the same engine that we're pushing. You know, it's like, and he's screaming at me in the media room, like, "Oh, fuck you guys!" And I'm just like, "Wow, we keep putting you on every fucking card. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, we're not against you. Stop this shit." He's like, "You're gonna give me the mic. You're gonna give this." It's like, we had to keep the show going. It was 18 damn fights. We had 2 ambulance rides. Like, we got to keep the show going.
I forget if it was before or after. my
Let's
fight.
Don Shana says,
Let
"Let
Lionel
Lionel be Lionel."
He said something to me, walks by, he's like, "Tell your boy Party, we're coming for him." I was like, "He's in Florida. I live in Massachusetts. What do you mean?"
How is he my boy?
Yeah, I was like,
Andrew
"That's my
Mack
dude."
said
But
Kevin
like,
has Lionel screaming at me. And the funny thing is when he's screaming at me, he's like not even making sense. I don't know if he's screaming at me,
it's just
about
he's screaming
things.
through you.
He's just screaming about things just to scream.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you get the message to the party?
Huh? I didn't.
No,
didn't.
no.
I figured, I mean, if I'm just going to message him on Facebook, I figured Boogs would probably just end up messaging him on Facebook.
I think they do message.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
They're
he was like, "Let your boy Party know we're coming for him." I was like, "I'm just going to message him on Facebook." I was like, "I don't understand."
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's
Lionel,
a nut,
dude,
dude.
he's
crazy.
come back with a vengeance. He's become a great part. And I
100%.
tell him,
People love to see
Lionel.
him fight.
love to see him fight, love the energy. Well, you can all attest, I'm running around like crazy on fight night. I stop what I'm doing and I run backstage and illegally shut every light off in the building, which we're not supposed to do for fire code.
Oh, yes.
I shut every light off in the building for your walkout. And Joe knows because I'm usually pushing past him and I'm like, let me get to the thing. And we're not supposed to do it. Even says like, warning, do not shut these ones off at all.
Oh, it's
At
like
all. And I'm
gone.
just like, Undertaker walkout. Fuck it. I hit all the lights and I sit there waiting for him to walk out. And so that if somebody came up on stage, like, "Oh, who shut the lights off?" I'd be standing there. So
A
I'm just
police
sitting there like
officer.
this, and I'm just holding the lights down. And I'm like,
Guy comes up with
Cool.
a gun.
but I go, all right, he's back. He walked out, put the lights back on, and I do it every
Vince
damn time.
McMahon
So
move.
Lionel, cut your shit that we don't like you. We love you, brother.
Oh, he's
And,
gonna
we
gonna
love you.
tune in in like 5 minutes
Yeah.
after this rant.
Yeah,
Yep,
he had his mask
exactly.
last time. He gave it to a
And
little
like he
kid.
didn't even mention me.
He had to have his guy go back upstairs.
Oh, that's why he took too long.
Oh, he forgot his
Oh.
mask.
Yeah,
That
so,
happens.
but then he gave it to one of the
Like
kids. in the
COVID, you
front
forgot
row.
your mask. You gotta run back.
You're
I
out. Get
forgot
out of
his-
here.
Can't get my latte.
Oh man, Pico said that he's a sore loser. He's not a fan of.
I
Pico's
know.
not a fan.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are hype, you know. It is
We've
what
all
it is.
yelled at a fan every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta yell at a couple fans.
And I think that, Lionel's been all highs and lows of the sport. So if there's anybody that's good at winning and losing,
There's
it's
no way
Lionel.
that's a quote. Every time I close
So
my
I guess
eyes,
he said this in the back media room. His creepy call out was, "Every time I close my eyes, I dream of the party." From Boogs. Okay.
that's such a Boogs call.
That is a
out.
filthy.
Yeah.
Filthy guy. Whatever.
But yeah, he's highs and I guess like for a lot of his career coming up, the reason why his record was so backwards was he was the guy that came in to fight the big ticket seller,
Mhm.
the promotion, the people that the promotion was pushing. So he was like the guy that just kind of got brought in.
Mhm.
Like a lot of promotions do, they pump one side of the card and the other guy's just an afterthought. So he was an afterthought for probably a lot of his career. And we've taken it and, we build both sides of the card, no matter who you are. And, I try to remind him, like he's always in our DMs too on our social media. He didn't post about me. Actually, this card has been one of the weirdest times. Like I've had at least 3 fighters, and I'm bummed I meant to mention it to Nick, that have hit me up or coaches and be like, "You don't post about my guy enough." And it's just like, so today, I'm not going to name who, but we had a fun banter. I go, "I'm on my fucking Instagram right now." And I'm like, boom, a post about your guy. I go, about this guy, about this guy, about this guy. Boom, post about your guy. And then I was like, boom, boom. He's like, "Oh, I get where you're going. I'm just giving you a hard time." I go, "Nope, you brought it up, so you're gonna listen to me." And I was like, I went all the way down to
Look at his
fight
eyes.
night. Oh, I was good.
Oh, he was in the
I got heated because somebody did this to me before. They were like, "You don't put my guys on posters," and I'm like, "Wait a minute!" And I went through every poster through Cage Titans at the time, it was like 40 something, and I did a tally for every gym and how many posters they were on, and it was like, "Oh, the gym that you think I favor that's on all the posters, they're actually number 3 in the number of fighters from their gym that is on the posters." I was like, "It was actually this gym that was number 1." They're like, "Oh man, I didn't think you were really gonna go that hard." I'm like, No, if you're gonna bring something to me, make
I
sure
was
you
up
bring
all
it.
night
I
looking
was
at
like,
these posters.
so I literally was on the phone with this guy today, and I'm like,
You had me drinking two monsters
Andy knows. I'll stay up till 4 a.m. doing some
just to
research.
prove a point.
Yeah, and I was like,
respect
nope. I was like, nope. Nope. You're wrong.
I
But
respect that.
so just for the record, like there was 18 fights, and as much as you want us to post everything about you, and I'm not just saying Lionel, but more guys, like we kind of have to post a little bit of everything.
It's
Like,
a lot.
and we can only post so many posts a day, usually 1, 2, or 3 posts. 3 is usually a max for fight week, but it's like, all right, 18 fights. If you got to post today, let's just say realistically, you're not going to get another
3
post about
weeks.
you for another week or 2.
Yeah.
Like we can only do so much. And then sometimes it's just not about the winners.
There's a
Like
lot
we have to post about a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of
Then-
fighters on the roster.
Yeah.
you know?
So we do our best, and we do our best to spread the wealth. And as we're sharing all of our fighters, like I take a lot of pride, and Nick will tell you when social media, and Andy, I've had this conversation, it's like I want us to have a spreadsheet that's like, all right, I posted about him. Tomorrow's him.
Everybody gets one post before anybody gets 2.
And then you go back to the top and second post, and a third post.
I mean, it's also how well you market yourself too. I mean, if you're not posting about you watching anybody else.
In Tyler Pimentel, I love that he brought this up. The fighter's job is to help by posting their shit too. And that's a great thing. Like, so somebody was like, well, you always put them in your story. And I go, here's another thing. You want to get reposted by us? Tag us. Simple. If you tag us, we get a notification. And all we do is hit reshare. And we will do that. So when you say like, Dan Walsh actually was somebody I got brought up, like, oh, you post all the time about Dan Walsh. And I'm like, this kid posts every day.
Yeah.
And he posts every training session, and he tags us in his training session. So it's like sometimes like you think we might post a lot about Dan Walsh, but like we're actually only posting
No.
one of every 3 that he posts.
Dan Walsh posts
Yeah.
a lot about Dan Walsh. He tags Cage
Yeah.
Titans in it. And it's like, we don't show favoritism unless you tag, and it's not even favoritism. You're tagging us, we'll show you love right back. That's
Yeah.
kind of the fun, but it's
mean,
if
that's the
Cage
business
Titans
too,
isn't
is like-
tagged, that's what it, and I'm not even,
I mean, it's
I'm
one
half
of those
on
things too. Like if you're a
Instagram.
guy, I mean, unless it's
Well, like you, JoJo, like I remember I talked to Trevor leading up to that, and like he's had some before, like, oh, like you forgot about me, and it's like, listen, man, I post about Joe because he literally posts 4 times a day.
Yeah.
And I
I
just-
reached out to Trevor to do an interview, and I reached out
Yeah.
to you. You responded to me. Trevor didn't respond.
Yeah.
No interview got done
Yeah.
because he didn't want to.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you know,
It's like,
I don't know
that's
how
on
many, I don't know
him.
how many tickets or pay-per-views Trevor did, but it's just one of those things like the guys that promote themselves the most, sell the most tickets, more people pay to watch are going to get posted more, because as much of it's a business for me to make money, it's a business for you guys to make money. So like if you guys post about your main event more than the guy making his amateur MMA debut, that's the way it goes. I've been there. I've been the guy making the amateur MMA debut while Johnny's main eventing. I don't expect to get posted more than Johnny. I expect to win my fight and get up to where Johnny is. And I feel like as much as amateur MMA is evolving, a lot of guys forget that. Like it's your night, but it's only your night for you and your friends. Everybody else has their own night.
Well, you know, and one thing that we like to do is just as important as the main event is the amateur guys. So we like to do as much as we can for the
100%.
amateur. But the reason why sometimes the amateur guys don't get as much posts because they're new to this. And at that stage of the game, they're probably self-conscious about posting about
Yeah.
themselves. So like they don't post as much. But guys like you,
Jaden wasn't
you're-
self-conscious.
you're a huge poster. Lionel posts a lot. Will Asia is another one we got to kind of monitor. Like he'll tag us 10 times a day, and it's like, all right, like we can only do one.
I'm more
You know, so
self-conscious
we'll
than
pick one.
anybody. Just post it. I promise you, I'm more self-conscious than anybody that posts for Cage Titans. Just post it. It's
Yeah.
the worst that happens.
Trevor, speaking of Trevor, and again, this
posting
isn't a
shit.
Trevor
I hate
thing,
posting
but he
shit.
said Andrew Mack hit him up for an interview, and he didn't even check his
Yeah.
DMs. So
And
he-
that's one of those things. You don't answer for the interview, then
Yeah.
your name
And then
doesn't
the
get
other
out there.
thing, like Jaden Curley's situation, is like, I didn't have a picture of his opponent. So if I have pictures of you, like when you want to fight,
Jaden wanted
Chael-
you to post a bad.
and it was like, I don't have a picture of your opponent. So like as much as I want to post about you, but I can't make the matchup banner until he gets it. So sometimes that's another thing that I'm dealing with. And Chael Sonnen, if you don't listen to Chael Sonnen on Facebook, like definitely listen to him. He said it best. Like if you're a fighter, have your medicals in hand, have your pictures ready to go. Like if a fight opportunity opens up, you send your medicals, you send them your headshots, and boom, that's how you should be
Yeah.
if you're going to be a fighter. He's talking about managers. Like many opportunities come to people because they have medicals
They're
in hand,
ready.
they got their boom. That's the stuff you should have ready.
True.
And fighters, I know what you're saying. Like, oh man, like I don't have a camera, whatever you want to do. Everybody has a effing smartphone. Take a profile picture with, whatever selfie. That's the iPhone mode.
One of
they
those
have.
things that
Portrait
kids
mode.
call-
Take a nice
Selfie
little
mode.
portrait mode.
Yep.
Or I promise you, somebody in the gym is a photographer, has a camera, and be
Or
like,
has a
yo,
phone.
I'm fighting this week. Do you think you can bring your camera next time you're at the gym so I get a nice professional shot? Because the worst is I get these grainy ass flip phone
the
photos I get in
Zoom
in the
in.
bathroom,
Yeah.
and it's like, or they'll send me a group shot
White
and they
shirt.
zoom it in, and I'm like, no, that doesn't work. But like get your photos, get ready, and then the more you post, the more we'll post about you. So at the end of the day, that's my soapbox for that. But yeah, this was a funny one because a
Facts.
lot of guys are like, "Oh, you didn't post about them." It's like, well, yeah, I have to post about every guy, and I don't like to dick ride one fighter. Like I just think
You'll get to the point too where it doesn't matter. Like you'll post less on social media and get more attention. Let your fights talk. I mean, I've posted a bunch and I've taken a hiatus before and just trained and gotten more followers and more attention because my fights spoke louder than my posts.
yeah.
So I mean, it's a game.
Yeah.
Up and down.
And it's all there's all reasons. So like I promise any fighter who's fighting for cage fights, and some of these guys are good friends of mine, and they know like I care about every fucking fighter. Trust me, I don't care who you are. Like I care about you, and I don't ever do anything. Like if you didn't see a post about you, there's definitely a reason for it. It's not Mike Paul Vera hates XYZ fighter, because if you got in there and you have the balls to step in there, you got my utmost respect. So there's those type of reasons, like Jaden's instance. I didn't have a picture of his opponent, and it's like I can't go to Connecticut and force him to take a photo. So, but then in other situations, it's like, listen, we already posted your fight, photos 6 days ago. I still got more fighters to post before I can get back to you. And the only way to get posted as much as you want is to tag us in a story on Instagram, and we will reshare our story. That's probably the best way if you want to kind of pull your followers towards us is tag us, and then we reshare and you get that tag back, and that's probably the best way. So there's our social media platform deep dive for this. Cool.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
Yeah, welcome to our TED Talk. Oh, somebody's in my DMs. So before, oh shit. I hope that's not bad. Fuck. I hope I didn't.
You're not airing out your DMs, are you?
Yeah, that's all right. Not a big deal. Not a huge one. All right, so we got through Lionel. Let's see what we got next.
We're going main event next, right?
Boom, the big boys.
Oh, I forgot. It's been 2 weeks. I already forgot.
Brendan Battles,
Right.
Joshua Marsh.
Joshua Shrugmaster Marsh versus Brendan Battles,
What
the
cut
heavyweight
Battles?
co-main event. I'm not sure what exactly cut him, but something did.
Yeah, he was
I heard it
fine,
was
and then
the
he was on
cage.
top, and then all of a sudden his forehead was gushing blood. I was
Yeah.
so confused.
You think it was the cage?
I heard it was the cage. That's
They
what
both have some
Lobo
pretty sick
said.
shorts, I will say.
Yeah.
I will say that I never envisioned battles in
Me
the
either.
Fresh Prince Wicked Muay Thai shorts.
But
I'm
there
not
it
against
is.
it.
The two of them, they both come out in tie-dye.
It is
Good,
what
nice
it is.
little shot there.
Might be a poster picture right there.
No,
I don't know.
no, because you can't see his face.
You don't need to. You need to understand striking. He's slim.
And this
and
is
counters.
sorry,
You
Martina,
making
but
fun of my photo?
no,
Yeah, he
it's
is. Don't take his shit.
that is not good
Just
there.
Not
It's out of
poster worthy.
focus.
Not
Oh,
poster.
obviously they're in motion.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like what I look for in posters. He said poster worthy.
It's a great
That's
shot.
what
They're
I
not
look
making
for
fun
in
of the
striking.
shot.
I
Just
can't see their faces.
It's just not going on the poster.
Honestly, in the shorts, as much as they're cool, I
I
don't know if
Shorts
that
would
is
pop
like
on a
that is
poster.
not on a poster. That's not.
But like they both like coming out with like rainbow colors shorts that never happens.
No,
Maybe for-
no, that's
maybe
what we
for
were
a
talking
June
about.
card.
Yeah,
That's a poster.
The blood. So Raw Pico Battles blood all over the judge's toolbox in front of me. His blood
I saw
was
that video. That was crazy.
everywhere.
Yeah, it was pouring.
It was.
Yeah, he was on
everywhere.
top of the guy and he was beating the hell out of him, and then he stands up and he's pouring blood, and I was like, "The hell did I miss?"
I love that picture.
What a psychopath!
Yep. We were at-
Yeah, that's a scary man.
Yeah, you're fighting that
both
guy?
guys were. They were.
Yeah, Joshua Marsh was pepping away with a
Beautiful
jab.
jab.
He was
Beautiful
really
jab.
starting to come away with some striking. And then once the top position was got by Brendan Battles, that was
GG.
all she wrote, man.
That's what
That's
we would
a scary, scary person to have on top. And the
Oh yeah.
first round finish came
Yeah,
his
right.
way.
Brock
Just
Lesnar-ish.
15 seconds.
Lawrence Hackett.
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah,
Cupcakes
that's
is my
true.
all-time favorite local fighter. Crazy to think Joe
Yeah.
and Cakes aren't wearing UFC leather. Question: would either of you take a Dana White Contender Series fight.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
in
from
a
Lawrence
heartbeat.
Hackett.
She's the best.
In a heartbeat.
She's the best.
If we're looking at it,
Lawrence
Lawrence. No, different person.
Things
I don't
I
know who
hate.
it is then. That's nice of them.
Will Asia,
Appreciate
JoJo Giannetti has that star shit going. He's one of the faces of the promotion for sure, next to Will Asia.
Next to Will Asia.
Joey Collarin. I think these two dudes were the biggest dudes I've seen in a cage in person. Yes, Rob
these
Pico
guys-
sums it up. I was like, fuck. That is, when you
Yeah,
see
that's
these
about
two
it.
guys, man, those guys were some
Yeah.
heavyweight
The
fighters.
Very
cage is
scary.
getting tested for sure.
No shit.
That was the second heavyweight fight of the
Yeah.
night, too, man.
Yeah, scary,
you know,
scary man, both
but,
of them. And shout out to Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu down in down in
And shout
Florida.
out to both fighters, and then also shout out to Battles. Like, I think he learned a lot about himself. And going into that fight, you know, he took so much time off. He came back and got that quick win in the last event. And he came to me and was just like, listen, man, I don't want to dabble with these like shallow end type fights. I want deep end. I want to know what I have. I want to know if I have what it takes to get to the next level. Give me the toughest guy you had. Joshua Marsh. You know, there's not many people that have the pedigree in wrestling like Battles. He had it. And, you know, it forced him to stand up a little bit, but then Battles was able to take over, and he learned a lot about himself. So, you know, that was a great fight. He learned a lot, and Joshua Marsh and his team were great guys, and hopefully we can see those guys back as well. Will Asia, when do we get a bigger cage?
You don't want
A
that.
lot of people have asked that.
You don't want that.
Unfortunately, like there, as you know, on the floor, there's only so much room. So like we can't really go wider at Memorial Hall because the floor. So like, could we go to a different venue that could get a bigger cage? Sure, but then you lose the luster and all the coolness of Memorial Hall. So it's like, yeah, the cage is small, but you have an amazing venue. You know,
It forces the action
It
too.
forces the
I'm pretty
action.
sure the UFC did like a study on
Yeah,
the
their
finish
smaller
rates.
cage.
Their smaller cage had the most finishes. I mean, I know Will's like more of like a Taekwondo type of guy, you know, but Will's there to fight. Taekwondo guys don't want to run around and pitter patter from the outside. They thrive from stuff like that.
Cage with a see-through bottom under cage seats. That would be kind of fun. Will sees my point. He said, fine. What if we hang the cage from the ceiling? That would be another
I
way.
said we just take the walls off the cage and just have a floating platform. I'm just
No.
saying. I'm just saying. Ring out, you win. Hear me out.
That's,
Joe's nodding. Yeah.
No. But anyways,
Wait a minute.
a bigger cage would not be a big, because we have a 20-footer. I think the UFC is the smaller version of the cage. I think it's 24 foot.
24, yeah.
And I think their normal one's 28 or 30. So like, yeah, it would probably be a little better. I mean, I know reality fighting uses a bigger cage. I fought in the reality cage and it was huge. So I know it is a little different. Yeah. Don't give Mike bad ideas like that, or I'll have to figure it out. The only Tyler's only shot me down on ideas once, and
That was the locker room, right?
it was the locker room. I wanted.
Damn
if you
it,
guys
Tyler.
see in the UFC where they have those stalls,
That's why we can't have nice things.
and you know how they have the stalls for the fighters. You guys know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. My idea was to build those for our fighters.
I remember you were gonna do
And
that.
I was gonna do it, and he was just like, "No, you're not doing that. There's no way we can do that."
Tyler's a hater.
And I thought that
like
would be
locker room
badass.
stalls almost.
Yeah, let me see if I
Not
can
like
find it.
bathroom stalls.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
yeah, you know
right,
what I'm talking about.
Like a locker room,
Like a cubby.
almost
Like
like,
the
a
cubby,
hot-
yeah,
like the
the
NBA
cubby.
players have when they go and play.
All right, hold on. I know I saw a picture of it the other day when somebody was warming up on the UFC Instagram.
Right
I'm
there.
like, no,
Right there.
that's not it. Well, no, that's not it.
Yes, it is. That's
It's not
what
it. Just listen to me. It's not it. Trust me. I know what I'm looking for.
Jesus.
Right here. Bam. This one. The one that they bring in with their name and stuff on it.
Oh, the roll on.
Yeah, see? You didn't. It
All right, I
wasn't
guess
what,
you're right.
yeah.
All right, I guess
It
you're right.
wasn't what you see. I know.
Yeah,
what
how
I'm
we gonna
talking
get it up to the third floor, fitting it all in the elevator? If it's
There
no,
we
no,
go.
the
no, like-
logistics. That's what Tyler's here for.
Yes,
Sounds like
that's-
semantics.
That
yes,
sounds like
logic.
That
Yes.
sounds like something that Tyler has to deal with, not me. So if you see these,
Just
and
levitate.
anybody that's in watching right now, because I know you all think it's a badass idea, just like me. See that little thing with Tony Ferguson's locker? The UFC brings those in for their fighters.
Mike,
How cool would
do
that
you know
be?
how easy? Do you know how you put 20 fights together on a fight card? We barely fit everybody back in the locker room. Is it now? You want to bring in wooden structured cubbies for people? We won't have room.
Those ones
It's
aren't
impossible.
Tyler said, Bob the Builder, I'm not fucking making lockers. But are those not cool?
They're cool,
Those
but
would be cool.
Christ,
But
Mike,
I was thinking you can build one. Let me see.
you thought
Well,
I
slide
wrong.
out
thought you
the
could
name
build
cards.
ones that had hinges. So like if I'm the back wall and these are the walls, and then all of a sudden you just hinge them closed and they lay flat and you put them in the
So
trailer.
it could
And then when
like
you pull it up, you open it up and bam, you got your locker.
the locker could hug you.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't want it to hug you. Come
Well,
on,
you
Scotty.
could.
Is that
Yeah,
not
right?
a cool idea?
Yeah.
Oh, here's another good one. Oh, that's a cat. We don't want another hazmat one. But you guys know what I'm. Come on, you
Yeah.
guys. Now you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
That's a good picture.
What would the queen think?
What would the queen think? Horrible. So that's a
I just
cool
saw
idea.
a picture of it. I was like,
I
why is it
know.
on
I
the-
think
It's like a coffin.
Oh, man, good.
They showed her at the UFC and everybody booed her. So
I saw that.
Yeah.
Dude, I could
That'd
put.
be sick.
Thank you. Here we go. I'm adding this to the stream. Tell me how cool that locker would, because we have the shirts that we give all the fighters, the gloves.
By the way, those are a huge, like, that's a great addition to the locker room.
No, Tyler. They bring them in. They bring them to towns.
Yeah, he's thinking about the wooden ones that were in the background.
Yeah, no, this
But,
one
like,
right there. Yeah, the wooden one.
The
obviously,
t-shirts and the
Tyler.
shorts are sick. It makes you feel like you're fighting for the UFC.
So come on, look at that. I could hang your shirt, and we could put your Wicked Muay Thai shorts in there. It's cool in theory, but Andy's right. No
You
room
guys
in
suck.
those locker rooms.
There's no fucking room.
All right, whatever.
Maybe if we didn't have 25 fights on the card.
Thank you, Mitch.
Can somebody at least give me
Maybe
like,
only
yeah,
for the
man.
pros.
Somebody on
Yes,
this
just for the
watching
pros.
right now is going to be like,
Just for the
I
pros.
know somebody that can build one. Mike, I'm going to build two. Let's try them out.
Yeah, and then you're gonna try them out. You're gonna find out that they don't
And
fit
you're
back
seeing a
there,
track
and you're
for
gonna
now.
be
Bringing
upset.
in shit from place to place. We have a shit trailer in my truck and a half broken down van. I do have a half broken down van. Park a trailer outside. That's not a bad idea. TJ Pimentel.
I
That
have
must,
like
hey, your brother's on my side, Tyler. I'm assuming that's your brother. Don Shanus is on
Why
my
are we
side.
watching the swimming video?
Mitch
Just on
Raposo.
repeat.
I mean, Mitch Richardson said, everybody's going to throw their shit on the floor anyways.
This is-
I'm
that's
going to
not
let this
boxing.
video play. Somebody.
Soak it in.
Oh, look at that. Will Asia.
I can
He's
build
in.
you two.
I'll build two. Will Asia, holding you to it.
You got to save it for my next fight.
All right. Two.
But you need to have a bigger cage. That's what he wants.
No.
His only stipulation is
Yeah,
a
right.
bigger cage.
Actually, well, Tyler might be coming around. Actually, they would
They
give
give
us
us
space
space.
in the locker room because you would only need two
chairs.
chairs, not two.
'Cause then you can
Tyler. I think we can rope maybe your brother TJ if that's your brother. I'm just assuming.
No, it's not gonna, like taking out one chair per seat is gonna make enough room for an entire locker cubby
sounded
for
like
each
a
one
real
of them.
Debbie Downer. Over
Yeah,
here.
man.
And then how many of you gonna what are you gonna do when you
Yes,
have
he works
12
in a
pro
fire
fights? You're
trail.
gonna have
Oh, no, no.
24 lockers
plug
built
it in.
for it?
Yeah, but we
No,
don't
just do
wanna
the main and co-main.
All right.
Just do the main and co-main.
Toby can't build shit. Now Tyler and his brother are fighting. He works enough already. Buy a trailer, all done up. Yes. All right. I like that. All right. We're gonna work on this.
We're gonna work
But
on this.
my idea is not a bad idea.
Yes.
It's not a bad idea. You need a bigger boat.
Yeah, let's just build a new venue. Let's build.
I-
Let's
Now,
build.
Johnny, Tyler, Johnny came up with the idea that we are going to build a new venue for us.
Just
Yeah,
build
so if
a
you didn't wanna
memorial.
build
We're gonna
a
buy
locker,
up
now you gotta
we're
build
gonna
a new
buy up a
memorial
plot
hall.
of land in Plymouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Andy, you dink. They would be up against the walls, not in the middle of the fucking place. And then
Yeah, you're
Toby
gonna hang
flipped
out- you're
him
gonna
off.
hang
There's
on the wall.
windows all around the walls. There's
Ah,
windows
no,
and
no,
shit.
The windows to the wall.
Oh my God.
All right, we can
What
move on.
year is it?
We have one more fight to go on, but I
We're-
do like that idea.
We're gonna rebuild the.
Willie said,
The
"Hang
Cage
from the
Titans
ceiling."
arena.
Willie, I think you're going to something. Maybe maybe we can do something. All right. So
Okay,
everybody
build a
knows
Raiders
what I'm up
stadium.
to. That's my idea. If anybody can come up with a prototype, just let me know. Fuck it, while I'm at it, just build an arena. Well, Shadis, you're from Plymouth. Actually, it's funny you say that. You know the old Corvette Mike's place?
We're building an arena.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, yep.
So it's been vacant for
Do it.
years. And I was like, dude, I should get
What's
that
Corvette
place.
Mike's?
It's a car, like
Old dealership.
it's an old car dealership. It's huge. And I was like, man, I wonder if and it has like a lobby and everything. And I'm like, I wonder if I
Case
can
Titans PI.
buy that place or rent that place.
Yep.
Because at one time we were actually, I'm going
The
down
Kingston
like,
Collection.
We're in the rabbit hole.
I'm going down a whole rabbit hole. Name it after Tyler. He'll build it for free.
We can't gas them up like that.
He goes, nah, let's just take over the entire city
Titan
and
City.
make it Cage Titan City. All right, man. You guys are good. I love how you. So where my mind was thinking is before we were actually going to look at there was a place in the Kingston collection, like an old Sears.
I remember.
And then we were going to like gut it and build it out and actually do an arena in
I
there.
remember.
And then there was also a place, F1, they had an F1 card place next to the movie theater. Same
Yep.
thing. The F1 car dealer went out and we were like, oh, we could have this whole space. I did think about it. But the Corvette Mike place doesn't have enough parking for all the people we bring. So that was one downfall.
Memorial Hall doesn't either.
Memorial Hall either, but this place is even worse. I would never be opposed to it because like we could build our own like Apex. That would be pretty badass.
Build a parking garage.
Yeah, fuck. We're just gonna build everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cage Titans Town.
Tyler.
Build a floating arena on the water. Funny you say that, Shayna. So during COVID, Josh Belanja
On a
works
boat.
on a barge.
Yes, we talked about
And
this.
he was like, if they won't let you do a show in
Like
the
gangs in
venue,
New York
Yeah,
style when they had to go into the
Cage.
neutral waters.
he goes, we can build a thing on a barge. And that was a legit idea that we had floating around.
I still think
When
we
we
should
floated
do it.
around. Ah!
We should still do it.
Does Corvette Mike have Corvettes?
Shut the fuck up.
You really just had to do that.
I didn't mean that.
No,
Shut up.
It's
Yeah.
better that you didn't.
Corvette Mikes did have Corvettes. They relocated their like showroom thing.
Oh.
Cage Titans Cruise. My Mitch Richardson
You got some
said it
business
best.
ventures going on.
Yeah, we got
okay?
some ideas. Shelly would kill me. Yes, my wife probably already wants to kill me.
Yeah, I'm sure Poppy will give her a reason anyways.
Yeah, she.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised you're alive.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, there's some ideas floating around. That's not a bad idea though. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to the JoJo fight. We do need another trailer. But I'm serious. Like, don't tell Tyler I'm telling you guys this. But if you build me some lockers, we're gonna set
We
them
can
up.
talk.
We can talk. Cage Titans Embedded would be
Yeah,
another
don't
great
tell.
idea.
Whisper to a live stream that he's watching actively right now to
Part
not
of the
tell
joke.
anything.
Part of the joke, Andy. All right, here we go. Let's go to the last fight, and then we can shoot the shit because we got a lot of viewers going on right now, so we could.
Everybody wants to go on a cruise.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, Mike's gonna put us on like cruise. No, I
Main
know.
Street Sports Bar and Grill, October 27th, Thursday before fight night.
They're gonna be a cruise.
No,
Hey, comedy cruise. All right, our main event of the night.
could get brunch.
Oh, whoa, hold on. I got to go back to this.
Oh,
Tyler
Jesus.
has a comment. If somebody else builds them and figures out how to fucking make them lay flat, we have a way to get them there. I don't mind. Boom.
Wow, I've never seen Tyler convinced of anything.
And Mitch Richardson says, I got a hitch on my new Ford.
Oh, he threw that flex
For a
out
trail.
there. I got a hitch on my new Ford. No biggie.
All right, so there we go. Anyways, let's go back to the fight photos. So we had some fun with that. Anyways, JoJo going up in weight to 170, challenge to become the
that
first
guy.
ever Cage Titans professional champ, taking on Trevor Goody. We were talking about this earlier, Andy and I, and one of the greatest things about it is usually by the main event, people are just kind of like checked out and they don't stick around. I think this fight and this magnitude of two guys who grew up with Cage Titans fighting each other, because a lot of times it's like there's an out-of-stater fighting a local guy. So people are kind of like, do I want to stay around? Like, I want to see JoJo, but like, whatever. People were invested in this fight because it was a community fight that people knew, grew up with you guys. Trevor, all his amateur fights with us, and pretty much all his pros, except for a few at Bellator. You, all your amateurs, except for a couple with us, all your pro fights, except for a couple with us. So everybody knew who you guys were, and everybody wanted to see the outcome of this fight. And boy, did you guys deliver.
It was a crazy fight, crazy pace from both of you. You going up a weight class to fight. Seriously, tall test for you. No
bastard.
pun intended there, but
Oh,
like
bastard.
you're fighting a true welterweight who has been a crazy competitor throughout his fight career, hungry for his own
That's a good
belt,
shot.
try to make
Nice
a run
poster,
for it.
yes.
A lot of things are at stake in this fight between you two. And man, you were able to come away really ahead on the scorecards early and just put on a striking
like that
clinic.
photo.
And
Nice
when it did go to the ground, you were able to put him in some really troubling positions that he was able to fight out of, but
Yeah, I got a
you
little
could
folded.
continue to mix it all up and put on a complete performance, man. Big congrats, a big
Appreciate it.
victory over somebody who was earlier in his professional career, but still a dangerous test for anybody at 170 pounds. And you handled that test flawlessly.
Studied a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was different for sure. I think that the
Look at the difference in a real 170 here.
oh yeah, 100%. Well, you know
Look
what's
at
funny? is
Jaden
We talked.
compared to JoJo.
Well, we talked about it cutting weight because he keeps being like, Joe, what do you weigh? What do you weigh? I go, it's different. I'm a 55er. I was like,
Jaden's looking big. At
yeah, he's
he makes
big as shit.
Tyler look small.
Well, you know what's funny is before we tried to get him to fight at 170, we were like, oh yeah, Jaden will fight at 55, and like we were talking about it for a couple weeks, and then Conrad messages all in a group chat and goes, hey, this kid weighs 183. He's not fighting at 55, and we're like, oh, and he's like jacked 183. We're like,
Dude,
yeah, not
and
happening.
even Justin just fought at 170, right?
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah.
Big dude.
There you go. And you and the woman with the double belts.
Those things are heavy, man.
Oh,
We went out to
yeah.
brunch the next day. I was like, all right, I got to put this down somewhere.
There you go. So what a night. Way to
Seriously.
cap it off. We talked about what? We were just talking about when you were a junior in high school? What
Junior in high school when you guys went to the hall for the first time.
in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And so you started out. What was your first Cage Titans fight?
Justin fought Hector.
Sanchez?
Yep.
Let's see when that was.
Ricky Bakarian fought somebody and won by a head kick. I only remember it because one of the kids on my wrestling team, it was my senior year, it was sometime in 2012.
Was this when you were training or no?
No, I was just wrestling. And one of the kids on my wrestling team was like, I would love to see a head kick knockout. And literally half a second later, Ricky Bakarian, head kick, slumped the guy.
So Cage Titans 14,
Yep.
2013,
13,
April.
yep.
So that was your first one. You weren't even training to fight.
Wasn't
then.
even training yet.
And that was Cage Titans 13. So it's been a long road.
Yeah, it's been a long ass time.
Yeah. So
And I've had my eye on Trevor a little bit. I just I don't know. I just think technique wise, I feel like I just had the advantage. And I feel like the big thing about that fight is everybody's like, oh, Joe uses his range, so it's going to be hard for him. But I train with guys that are shorter than me in California that have longer reach. I train with guys that are taller than me with taller reach. So it wasn't a first time. It was a first time in a fight, but it wasn't my first time ever being the shorter guy. And, I have no problem fighting on the inside, as seen in that fight and a couple of my other recent ones. Fuck you, Tyler.
now I see where Tyler gets his.
Yes,
Gets what
100%.
now. At first, I met your mom, Toby, or Tyler's mom too, and now I wasn't sure where the assholeness that Tyler has comes in, but now I can see it's a family thing. I love it. I love it. Ball busting.
Respectfully.
Jojo, what was your first fight? That was what Tyler had.
This ugly dude cornered Derek Peterson and almost got me knocked out.
Oh yeah, you fought Derek Peterson.
Yeah,
and
Tyler
was
was
the
cornering him.
coach for him. So
Yeah.
okay, makes sense. Yeah,
We
cool.
still don't have the video for that. Let's keep it that way.
All right, cool. Well, it was a great night.
Insane.
Yeah, man, it was insane. We're at an hour and 57 minutes,
Jesus.
and we haven't even got through. We got through everything. I mean,
Yeah, dude.
we talked about Valdina, Mike Taylor going to October 29th. So I think today is kind of the bow on Cage Titans 55.
We used to have the energy to do it the Monday immediately
Yeah.
following, but listen, I need a fucking solid 3-4 days to recover after it nowadays. It's over.
And Martina's got 5 more albums. She's gonna get them up.
So don't yell at Mike that they don't post you.
Yes, yes.
I'm getting old for this shit.
Rob Pico, fine. Since you waited so
Let's
long,
go.
Rob Pico, Zach the Ripper, Di Sabatino will be taking on Aaron Lacey for the main event, Cage Titans 56.
Let's go.
Shit.
This fight was scheduled before, and I forget, was it Aaron that had to pull out or
Yeah,
Zach?
ankle. Was that the
No,
ankle?
no, Zach had to pull out.
Okay. No.
Did Zach pull
No, I
out?
think it was Aaron.
I think Aaron, because then
When did you
I
say
ended
that?
up fighting.
Oh, yeah,
no,
Aaron
no,
pulled out. No, yeah.
Yeah, Aaron had to pull out of that one, I think, because Pete pulled out of
Did
his
you
fight
each
with,
pull out?
with
I don't know.
Aaron first, and you stepped
Everybody's
in to
pulling
fight
out.
him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is his second fight with Cage Titans, right? And his
Yeah.
second main event.
Yeah.
With Cage Titans.
Yeah.
I mean,
Aaron's no
That's
joke,
pretty
man.
cool.
I mean,
John.
you know,
Yes,
you
Rob.
fought
Yes.
him in short notice.
Yep.
And was that when he was fighting Barrett? Was he fighting
Yeah.
Barrett?
Yes.
And
He
Barrett
pulled
had to
out.
pull out.
yes.
That's what
Yes, and then you fought him, and then
Yep.
he was going to fight DSAB.
But he pulled out. Not
He
Aaron.
pulled out. Yes. Okay. Gotcha. Now,
But
all
now
right,
it's
cool.
happening.
So it's happening. I'm excited for it. They just
Very
agreed to
strong.
it today.
I will be drunk.
It's going to be an amazing fight. Aaron is out of Nostos with Devin and those guys up there, and they've just shown that they're absolute killers.
Surely
Aaron-
he's been sharpening up since our fight. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
At
I
55?
went right at him.
150.
50. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
catch
okay.
weight.
Okay, Zach.
I kind of took advantage of some things that I think that he was lacking at the time, and surely he immediately, changed that up because he hadn't really fought a lot of tough guys before me. So
Yep.
I'm sure that fight woke him up a little bit,
Yep.
and he'll probably be at the top of his game for DSAB. So, and he's going to have to be. DSAB's one of the best around. So,
Yeah.
And if he makes his way to
Fun one.
45, that'd be terrifying.
50. I know that's scary.
terrifying.
Yes, and I think it's a great opportunity for both guys. I mean, obviously Aaron came into Cage Titans. He wanted to fight Peter Barrett. He ended up fighting you. Zach DSAB. He's we talked about it leading up to it before. Like he lives above the gym now. Like he's all in. Like he was 7-2. Like he wants to make that push towards the UFC, and he that's what he's actively trying to accomplish by taking on these tough fights, because he's not taking the road of pad record, get there, and then bam, I don't know what the hell I'm doing when I get there. He wants to fight the toughest of the tough and get there by beating tough guys, and respect to him. And then as for DSAB, like, he's 9-2. Like, at this point in time, this is the point in your career where it's like, all right, am I going to get a call and try to make it to the UFC, or am I going to be cool with being a local fighter and maybe have a few twice a year, and that's my career, but I'm going to use it to build. He's a personal trainer, like his personal training clientele and all that stuff. This is a great crossroad for both fighters. I think this fight does a lot for both of them.
Huge.
And so that's the pro
A lot
fight.
at stake in this main event for Cage Titans 56. Halloween weekend, it's going to be bloody.
So you got that. We already talked about the Valdina fight versus Mike Taylor.
So you can do like an orange Halloween theme for the
I don't
poster
know,
and
I
stuff.
don't know.
I feel like you haven't done anything like that yet.
I don't know if I really want to like go like over the top.
Straight Halloween town.
Why not?
Come on.
Pumpkins, black
Yeah.
cats,
Like,
candy corn.
Salem.
Candy corn.
Salem.
You fat. I'm the fat ass here, and you guys all eat like fat asses.
I just fought at 170. I'm allowed
Yeah.
to.
But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna
It's
go.
called using the gym membership.
I'm not sure. Well, dude, you know my feeling on the gym. It's just like, if I go to the gym, I feel
He's there
like
all night.
I'm there all night because everybody wants to talk fights, and they're like, "Oh, can I get a fight?" or all that stuff. So I can't
It's
even go to
called-
MMA.
You live on you live on a dead end road. You can do sprints back and forth. No one will bother you.
His dog
yeah.
will sneak out and bother him.
Oh man, but
you can do more sit-ups than the one you do when you get out of bed every morning.
yeah, whatever.
What a dick, huh?
Whatever. It's all right. I don't care.
It's all right.
I can still kick his ass.
You're silly.
But anyways, I feel bad. Like, if I go to the gym, like my phone, like today, the only reason I got work done, I went. I know. I just sat there and I was just like texting the whole time, and I just rode the bike for a little bit today.
Yeah.
And my fat ass is. I did gain a lot of COVID weight. Thank you guys for always reminding me. I mean, so I'm working on it.
I
I'm
love
gonna
the
try to get
before and
down a
after
few
pictures
pounds.
of us. Listen, I'm just trying to help you. I had
I
to fat
appreciate
shame myself to lose the weight, so it's all out of love, boss.
Too bad you can't ugly shame yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
Never will
see,
be
we can
wrong.
all throw a little banter with the
It's
best
fun.
of Tyler Pimentel. You and your brother kind of got me with the little ribbon, so now I'm feeling a little feisty today.
I'm
So
fat. I can go on a
anyways.
diet. You're ugly for life.
Oh, facts. But anyways, we got that fight. We got the Valdina fight. Jack Congdon is going to be making his pro debut. I saw in my DMs while I was on the call. Shane Delahaye. They want me to look for somebody for him. Miguel Savesin will be defending his title. I was hoping to get a text message confirming it by the time I was off air. I didn't get the text message, but both offers are out. One side agreed. I'm just waiting on the other side. What else? We got Marty Navis returning. What else? We got Andrew Jacobs returning. KK, Christina Katsikis. Her opponent pulled out on a fight week last show, but she's back. We got a new opponent for her. We'll announce next week. But yeah, we're done with Cage Titans 55. Last moment, favorite moment from the show besides your win.
Oh, I got nothing.
He's like, let me get my
I was
belt up,
yeah, I was
man.
gonna say the second belt. I don't know. Honestly, I think that people are kind of sleeping on the fact that we had 15 finishes at 18 fights. Like, I fought on some Cage Titans card where I was fourth to last, fighting at like 12:30 in the morning. So to be the very last fight and like they were like, all right, Joe, you're up. I was like, shit, already? Like, that's a good feeling. Keep it up. We like quick cards. We like knockouts. Submissions too, but finish him or her.
So that was your favorite.
That's my favorite. 15 finishes at 18. That's my
I
favorite
wonder if
fight.
like that, the kill combat bonus that he gave out full he gave it to David Burke. But like that's something cool because so many guys were talking about that. They're like, dude, who won it? Who won it? Who won it? Sean
People
Lally
were
picks
blowing
the
up my
winner.
phone. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, Sean Lally picks the winner. We created the graphic for him to help it out, and so it was funny because he wanted to announce it, but like me, I like to take a day or two off. So I'm like, dude, I gotta create the graphic for you. I was like, give me a day, and then I sent it to Nick, and then he was pissed at Nick. He's like, Nick, you better fucking post the winner. And Nick's like, I have 3 other posts that's in line before your post. He's like, I'm gonna kill you if you don't fucking announce the winner yet. And then finally we're like, listen, we have too much because like we had the thing with the arm break, so we had some stuff that we kind of had to shuffle through before we like went forward with posting more stuff. And then finally, like, just post it on your page. Like, but
Get it out there.
it was very cool. It was very well received. We're actually going to be looking to do some more with Lally for the next one. where we might do like maybe a match from fan donations. So like, I think this time like he did like a little box at his table where he was taking donations to add to the fund. Because I think it was like $150 plus a whole crew of like gear. So I think what we're going to do this time, we might release something early where you can donate to this performance bonus fund.
That's cool.
And Lally's Kill Combat will do a match.
Nice.
So maybe we can raise that dollar amount even more. So some things that we're looking at doing, and it's awesome to see Lally involved outside of competing right now and still being involved. And that's what we love at Cage Titans. Like, yes, you fought, and then what can you do outside of fighting to stay involved in the community? But that was cool. Your favorite moment?
Just the entirety of the show, just being, cage side, watching that level of competition is just an honor and a privilege. So just being in attendance for that show, I thought it was just an outstanding event.
Andy.
Listen, those amateur title fights, that knockout with David Burke, and then the lead up to Mapofu versus Smythe. That was kind of an amateur super fight right there, and that was as intense as it gets leading into a fight, and it was a 5-round war. So I always say at every show, these amateur title fights are the stealers of the show, basically show after show. Every single one of them has so much at stake. They're right on the cusp of taking the next leap in their career, so they always deliver. So I'm always a fan of the amateur title fights, but yeah, that'll be my pick. Let's go with that. But all the fights were tremendous. Yeah, can't sleep on the fact that 15 out of 18 of them were finishes. The ones that weren't, there was a Muay Thai fight that wasn't a finish, and a couple of MMA fights early on, but it was just a finish fest at Cage Titans 55. So
Finish
for
trademark hashtag.
dude, hey, I got some lines sometimes for the inaugural Kill Combat Finish of the Night award. 15 out of 18 finishes.
Yeah, it's
Five-
first time
five-
thinking. It's like
five-
he was
six.
going back and forth. He's
It's
like,
over
"What do I
80%,
pick?"
over an 80% finish rate for the first time that a finish bonus is getting awarded. I'd say well
trying to get
done
some
to all the
money.
competitors for really chomping at the bit to get it. But big congrats to David Burke for actually winning it, and tune in to Cage Titan 56 to see who gets the finish of the night, the Kill Combat finish night. Then
It's
I love
electric.
it.
That was last
Did we
year.
play the electric slide during the
I don't
fights?
know if we did. And
Like-
I got to say that, probably my favorite, like it's funny. We talked about this a lot after the show, and it's like so many people are like, I felt like that was the best Cage Titan show we've ever had. And it was like, man, we've done.
I've
this was
said
55.
that 30 times now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm
when I
biased,
walked
but I
away,
agree.
I was like, man, this was a pretty solid show. And like, short of the arm break, which you never want to see happen,
Mhm.
like, it was good. We ran on time, 6:04, thanks to
That's what
Joe
I'm
and the
saying. We
production
got up
crew.
so early.
He put up on the screen 30-minute countdown at 5:30. And it was like, he was like, I asked him a few questions. He's like pointing at the screen. And it's like, oh shit, somebody's going to hold me to a time? Like,
We
no,
need Joe.
I don't do
We
that.
need you.
And it was like, all right. I went up and asked him something else. He's like, you got like 3 minutes. I'm like, shit, I got 3 fucking minutes. I'm like, and
We
it was
need
like,
someone to keep
boom.
him in line.
And it was like the show went on and it went off. And
Things went very
6:03,
smooth.
I think, was when Andy was in the cage.
Mhm.
6:03. And then even like we did a quick like intermission, and it was like he had a timer up. It was like 10 minutes, and I'm just like, well, let's play the video. He's like, nope, that's not in on the
It's not our
on
10
the
minutes.
agenda. And I'm like, well, let's do this. He's like, nope, it's not on the agenda. It's not going. But I gotta say that was cool. It was one of our first shows that we've like in 59 times. Like it went pretty smooth the entire time. We started on time, not MMA time, not Paul Vea time.
Stream went well.
Stream went
well.
amazing. And dude, hats off to the production crew. We had instant replay.
That was
So,
sick.
shame on them for showing the arm break 5 damn times from every angle. But we finally have instant replay, and they played the instant replay of the arm break, so somebody passes out and sees. it in
Any
the
word on
crowd,
that
which-
person?
Yeah, we
They're
were talking
fine.
about that before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
They're good. All right.
They were fine like when it happened.
Oh,
they
all
were
right.
like, this happens.
Yeah, but no, they took that person out.
Every
but-
time someone gets their arm broken in front of me, I pass.
But
You
you
spin
know,
it
the
backwards.
production was great. We had that shortfall last 2 events ago where we couldn't get it up, the pay-per-view up, so we had to release it for free. This time we had, the lighting rig, we had instant replay, we had all the graphics. Everything went well from a production standpoint, and why people think that might be a big deal. Like, who cares? Like, it should be 100%. Like I say, for everything we do, like we do everything in-house. Like we are a do-it-yourself Like, we don't know how to do something, we figure it out. Like, and that was very important. I talked about it early in the show. Like, we're all MMA people in this. Like, our production guys fought before, you know, all of our crews fought before, or they at least train. And it's like, so we're just like-minded individuals with a passion about MMA. And it's like, all right, well, we need somebody to do video. It's like, all right, cool. I'll pick up a camera and figure it out. And it's like, yeah, I could go out and hire people to do all these that might be professionals in those fields, but it's like, I want our community involved in it. And this was a huge win for our production team. It was one of our best ones we've ever had, if not the best. So hats off to all those guys.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it was just an amazing show. And I can't wait for Cage Titans 56. And who knows? It's supposed to be the last show of the year, but my last little thinger, we might have another show before the end of the year. In addition to this one, just because you know me, I love to go throw crazy curveballs.
If we're going to be showing the devil some love in October, then we got to show Jesus some love in December. Let's go.
Maybe that could be a hint.
We'll give you a
But anyways, we love you guys.
Thank
you
you.
as always for tuning in. You know, that's it. Andy, you didn't cheers us in, so you can
Cheers,
cheers us out.
everybody. Thank
Cheers,
you very
y'all.
much. We'll see you next Monday with some more to
gonna play the
announce.
video.
And yeah, let's go.
Let's go!
When you lose your next UFC fight, you bring your ass back here.
This place has officially